Burn some rubber. Trust us, Joe says you'll leave motivated. Joe's karting race packages range from providing simple stress relief races to the real deal race experience. Check us out at joeskarting.com. Remember, go to Joe's, your place to race.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
Crossover. Oh, killer crossover.
Just crossover. It just crossed him over. Danced him. Another victim to the crossovers. Cross him up and sit him down.
Time for the crossover. John and Josh are here.
It's time for the crossover.
Yes, it is. It is time for the crossover.
It's time for the crossover.
What does that mean?
I mean, am I wrong? Holy crap!
Are you verbally retweeting what I said?
am verbally retweeting the information you already gave us.
That's nice. Well, I'm glad that you're doing it on your personal account.
Yep.
Because
Or the 1620 The Zone account. I might have just done it from there too.
you need credit for that.
Was the button broke again?
No, it's there. It's there.
The on actually works again?
Oh, yeah, it's been working since Monday.
Yeah, we were doing an interview earlier this week, and Nielsen was like underneath John. It was very funny.
He wasn't underneath me. I was standing over there.
Oh, that's right. It was with Jack Mitchell. Because Jack was really
Oh,
triggered.
that's when John did the middle finger on the
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Classic.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Classic.
He deserved it.
Classic.
We do have an announcement. Josh, would you like to retweet my announcement?
Yeah. Oh my
words?
God. Sean,
Would you like to verbally
I think
retweet?
Sean knows what he's doing now because the Nebraska football account tweeted that Tony White is the new defensive coordinator. Mitch Sherman quoted it and said official.
And
Donnie. But let me get to
Donnie!
But I want to talk
Even
about
Donnie.
Sean because then Sean quoted Mitch saying Nebraska officially announced Tony White as defensive coordinator. So I think he knows he's doing a bit. Is this what Sean is doing now? Is he a bit boy?
I don't
Or is he
think
just trying
so.
to get he loves those likes and retweets?
Is Sean a bit guy? I don't know if I get that vibe from him.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, good question. Is he a bit guy?
I don't know.
Yeah. Donovan Rail is back, folks.
If you were holding out hope that he wasn't,
Congratulations.
or that maybe he
You
might
did
just be
it.
back as an intern. That would have been okay.
Chance comments on
As an
YouTube.
intern.
Hot John on John action.
Wait, what?
That was on
John
Monday.
underneath the table? On John?
John underneath the table. Play the music, Nick.
No, I was over there.
Nice. Man, it's a Friday.
Nielsen and Bishop.
Oh, that's a podcast.
Yeah.
We've got a podcast.
We got a
Where I am a podcast. I got a podcast.
Not with Nielsen.
What would their podcast be? Where do you and Nielsen intersect on interests?
That's a
great
good
question.
I don't know the answer.
What
to
does
this.
Nielsen like at all?
That's also a good question. What is
Well,
John Nielsen like? I know he loves it. Like he
By
seems
the
to like
way-
his job.
By the way, John Nielsen is our fine engineer.
Oh,
Yeah.
John's awesome.
Yeah, we
I
love John. I
Yeah.
just don't know what he loves.
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, we could probably talk about old satellite receivers and how
That's what you guys
and
would
how
get along
radio
on.
used
That's
to work
true. He
back
would
in the
definitely
day.
have
Back in the
takes
good
about
old days.
towers and
Back in the
stuff
good old days.
and wattage.
Learn about tower impedance and things like that. That's what we could.
sunspots.
Sunspots. I know all about the sunspots.
Oh, he has.
Oh,
takes
you could
on
both talk
sunspots.
about sunspots.
Chance says we got a John cast.
Hey.
You should do it. That's
Welcome
content.
to the John
We're a
cast.
content company.
John
That's
zone.
right. It's all about great, amazing, great original content is what it's about.
Like retweeting tweets
Like
that are
retweeting
press
tweets.
releases.
Now, Gil points out Sean deleted. Sean is definitely not doing a bit because
No,
he
he's
deleted his
not.
quote tweet of Mitch Sherman and then he re-quote tweeted the announcement. Just click the retweet
Maybe
button.
he heard what you just said. He's like, oh no.
Yeah, Sean does listen to the show sometimes. He'll send us messages every now and then. My God. People hate the
Hi,
retweet.
Sean.
People hate the retweet button.
anyway,
They hate
Tony and Donnie.
Tony and Don. That's
That's
a podcast.
a podcast.
Oh, the Tony and Donnie show. I'd listen to that. John, thoughts?
I'm just gonna
You're
quote tweet.
just quote
I'm
tweeting?
gonna quote tweet Sean now.
Can I quote your quote tweet?
I don't see
Do
why
it.
not. Yeah,
Do
I
it.
think we should.
I
just
think
do-
we
do
should
it.
all do it probably.
Do it.
I
Everybody jump
will.
on.
I
No,
think so.
wait for Nick to quote tweet me, and then
I just
then
think
you
we
quote
need to
tweet.
see how long of
Yep.
a snake we
We
can
need
make
to
this
make
thing.
this. We need to make this a quote.
Like, you know, at the
tweet
Cubs
snake.
games, they do the
Yeah,
cup.
the Cub
Yeah,
snake.
I think that we need to do a
Absolutely.
quote
Yeah.
tweet snake.
All right, so Nick, you quote tweet my quote tweet of Sean's quote tweet, and then
I'll get
and
next.
then Connor's got next, and then Josh has got
And then I'll
next,
quote
and then
him.
just
And then the listeners take
just
over.
Done.
everybody take over.
Okay.
and just say whatever it is.
Connor, you're going next now.
Should we like change it? Should we like change it briefly?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you
Nick
gotta-
just
yeah.
simply tweeted Tony White, DC.
Am I quote tweeting Nick or are you quote tweeting Nick?
But I just I want this
I'll
to go
quote him.
far enough along where the information eventually completely changes.
Oh, like the game of telephone.
Yes, like telephone.
Twitter phone.
All right, Josh. Well, you take over.
All right.
You quote tweet what Nick just quote
Maybe I'm
tweeted.
like-
of my
maybe-
quote tweeted the quote tweet.
Maybe I say Anthony White instead of Tony White.
Oh,
Anthony White.
all right.
Anthony White is the defensive coordinator, and then somebody will say it's like Anthony somebody else. Anthony Davis.
TW.
All right, so now
DC.
Josh. Now it's your turn.
Now it's your
is-
turn, Happer.
Josh is
Okay,
quote
Josh
tweeted
did it?
Nick's quote
Yeah.
tweet. Now it's your turn.
Okay.
Hopefully, I hope this gets to the point where it's like, Tony White once delivered newspapers for the Boston Globe.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, we need to do more research on him.
Yeah.
I mean, I read about him a lot today. I don't know what he did for money back when he was 15.
I don't know.
Yeah. What was your job when you were 15? You do anything? You like mow lawns?
I was actually I was working at the truck stop at 15.
Dang.
Yeah.
Wow.
I worked at a lab.
Worked at a lab?
Yeah,
What kind of lab?
like a
The
pig
kind
lab.
where they do experiments.
Yeah, I guess so.
Those raising pigs in a sterile environment so they could get shipped off to get experimented on. I was only
All
there
right.
for about 2 weeks.
Connor is now quote tweeted
All right,
Josh, who's
quote
quote
tweet-
tweeted Nick,
and
who's
now-
quote tweeted me, who's quote tweeted Sean Callan, who's quote tweeted somebody else.
All
and then
right.
we're
All right.
quote-tweeted.
Now it's out into
Now-
the ether.
Heard it from a
Now,
friend.
Friends
who-
of the program.
Jump on it.
All right. I know that there are media members who listen to us
Don't
all the
like
time.
him. Don't like it, Kip. I appreciate that you like
Thank
it,
you for your
Kip,
like.
but you need to quote tweet it now,
Mhm.
and you need to quote tweet off of Connor's quote
Well, you
tweet.
could either start at mine or you could go deeper in and branch off from there too.
Oh, I don't like that. I want it to be like
Want the
like
snake.
an Arkansas family tree. I just want it to be one branch.
Or a Targaryen tree.
There
Yeah,
you go.
I want a Targaryen family tree here. I want
Oh,
it to be
hey, I just
one branch.
Shane just quote tweeted me. Also, Chance quote tweeted
Chance just
Happer.
retweeted
I
me.
love it. Anthony White is officially the ACDC at Nebraska.
There we go. It's turning into a game of telephone.
Here we
All
go. Here we, Betty
Oh,
White.
Betty
is
White.
Betty
the
White.
DC commander.
Oh no! Oh no! And now
Let's
it's just
do this. Come on, people.
now it's just off.
Come
Wow.
on, people.
All right, we're moving. Good stuff. So, what's the actual news again?
Oh, is that Donnie and Tony White?
Donnie and Tony are here.
So I already wrote their names on the board yesterday,
Thank
so we're
you.
good to go there.
Don't forget to take the asterisks off of your
Where's
chart,
Jake
John.
Peets?
So I had
Well,
somebody reach out to me yesterday.
Apparently, the Jake Peets thing's going to be happening.
Yeah, he might be in town right now. He might be in Lincoln.
Did anybody catch him on the sideline for the victorious Rams
Yeah,
last
I know.
night?
I was looking.
I
with
didn't.
my
I was too busy
binoculars.
laughing hysterically to watch.
I was watching the movie,
What
but
a
I was
ridiculous!
But
game.
I had in my pick'em, which I'm doing really well at, I had the Raiders, and so throughout
Sad.
Bad News Bears, I watched the first half of the game, and I was like,
Sad.
it's a pretty ugly game. I'm feeling okay. I'll just pay attention on my phone every few minutes. And when they punt it down to the 2, I'm like, awesome.
Yep,
This is
ball
great.
game.
This is great.
Baker's not going 98
And then I
yards.
check a couple minutes later. I'm like, wait, they're at the 40. What's happening? And so I literally was like, I'll just watch the end of it on my phone with the movie on. And I open it, and it was like the ball's in the air, touchdown. I was like, oh, awesome. Very cool.
So you probably saw the Skoranek. Did you see the Skoranek catch too?
No, I just saw the game-winning catch. That was
Yeah,
the
so
only.
the fake-
Skoranek catch was amazing.
The fake Cooper Cup guy. He
Yes.
he
Oh, the white
basi-
guy.
He Randy Mossed everybody, and I think that wasn't it on third down? I felt like there was like some
no.
pressure on the play.
Well, there was pressure just because of
Just
time
because of
was
the
running
time.
out. Yeah, I don't think it was third down, but yeah, he went up and
And then
got one.
the idiot Raiders are like, let's play press coverage on a quarterback who, has played for about 20 practice snaps a week. What can he do? Probably not much except for throw a go route against a man-on-man coverage. No help over the top.
and John still cackling.
That's the Raiders in a nutshell.
What a
It is
bad
the most
franchise.
Raiders
Listen,
thing of
I-
all
okay,
time.
I give Josh crap all the time about the Cowboys and all their bandwagon fans, but
we don't have any of those.
if you're younger than me and you're a Raiders fan, you might be the biggest bandwagon fans of all because the only reason you like them is because of their uniforms. The Raiders, do you know how many years it's been since the Raiders won a Super Bowl?
Is Shane younger than John?
They
It
Was
is
it
a
the-
landmark year. This is a landmark year.
okay, so they have 3 Super Bowls,
Yeah,
right?
3 Super
okay,
Bowls.
so I know they beat the Eagles in one. I know they beat the R words in another.
Minnesota was their first.
Minnesota's their first. The most recent one, is it the Eagles one?
No.
Or is that, so it's the R words. Was that like 80?
This is the 40th season. It was Super Bowl 17.
God.
It's been 40 years since the Raiders won a Super Bowl.
Dang.
The only reason young people like them is because of the uniform.
They are really cool.
That's it.
Yeah, why
Else would you just randomly pick them? Because they've not.
You love Bill Callahan?
They went to a Super Bowl. Bill Callahan.
football?
But like the old Raider mystique,
Yeah,
has been gone for so long.
I don't think I know any Raiders fans my age. I don't think I know any Raiders fans below 40, like you said.
It's crazy.
I know 2 Raiders fans.
Crazy.
Shane, I mean, is he really a fan? He likes a million teams.
Yeah,
but there was one of my dad's best friends. He is a Raiders fan. And
Older
he
than
is-
40.
Neville.
He's-
He's a Raiders fan.
Neville.
Neville!
Neville's our age.
Yeah,
So why is Neville a Raiders fan?
that's a good question. I feel like he's
I'm not
explained it to me
sure.
before, but I can't remember.
Yeah, well, next time I see him, I see him every day when I leave. So I'll ask Mike later. We got a question from Dion the commenter.
Dion, the YouTube man.
He says, Josh, when you get the time, and I don't know if I asked this before, but what position coaches have yet to be announced? Thinking emoji. The ones that we don't know now are quarterback and wide receiver, and that's it.
And we think the quarterback will be Jake Peets.
The Pete's man.
So
The Pete's my
Pete's my
unofficially, the wide receivers coach position is the only one left.
I've heard
That
some
would
names.
be the 10th.
That would be the 10th.
I wonder if it's going to be. Remember, we were talking about wideouts. Is it going to be wideouts?
Keith Williams?
What about Keith Williams?
At wideouts?
I don't think it'll be
Could
him.
be.
Don't think it'll be him. I don't know who it'll be.
Ron Brown.
Oh,
Keep
God.
Ron
You want to
Brown.
trigger me? That would trigger me. Trigger me.
Would trigger you, Josh?
Yeah. Very much so. I would be so upset. There's no reason to hire Ron Brown in the year of our Lord 2022.
Yeah, Ron Brown is.
No
Ron-
reason.
So Ron Brown is what? In his 60s?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
He remembers the Raiders being good.
He remembers
Yes,
the
he
Raiders
does.
being good.
Not Ronald H. Brown, former United States Secretary of Commerce.
No,
He died in 96.
different
RIP. I searched Ron Brown, and that was the first guy that
Ron
that showed
Brown
up.
football.
Ron Brown, Nebraska. All right, he doesn't have a Wikipedia page. Let's see. How old is he? He was born.
Isn't he the same age as Whipple?
That's right, because they played together
They
in
played
college.
together
in college.
So he's in his 60s. then,
Yeah.
right?
I'm back in the leather helmet days.
It wasn't that.
Maybe they should bring back Whipple, wide receiver coach Whipple.
That's a great idea.
Oh, God. Mark Whipple.
That was before Whips knew anybody in college, right? Was he still name dropping in college?
Oh.
Yeah, that's the problem. We haven't heard from any of these guys yet. I hope we have a name dropper in this group.
I know. It's
Ooh.
got to be Ed Foley.
I'm gonna miss the Whipple
Yes.
Open. That was my favorite.
Yeah?
We need a name dropper in this group because we're losing maybe a Class A name dropper off of this
So
staff.
good. So
We
good.
used
I
to have
didn't
a
even know
boss
we
who was a
needed.
name dropper.
Roethlisberger.
I didn't even know
What's
we
that?
needed it until we had it with Whipple.
I said we used to have a boss that was a name dropper.
I know
We
but-
sure did.
but
That guy loved telling us names.
lots of.
I know a
names.
guy who did cocaine. Oh, thanks, boss.
I know a guy who got shot 3 times in the chest.
Classic
Let
story.
me tell you the mobster story for the 5th time.
Classic story. Oh, man.
What a guy. What a character.
Uh-huh.
There you go. Now it's official. We're all excited.
Gary says there's a new football coach on the staff that hasn't been announced yet. Gary says recruits will see him this weekend, and that's probably how it will leak. He didn't tell me a name. I don't know if I should be reading this. Maybe I don't know.
Read it. Who cares?
He says maybe it's Pete's, maybe it's Joe Daly. It seems like
Joe
something.
Daly.
I thought he was saying like Gary said this on the air, but then he didn't tell me a name. Made me think that it was a conversation. Oopsies, my bad, emailer.
Joe Daly.
Joe Daly. That's the other name that people have been.
Josh the Weasel tipster now.
Uh oh.
Maybe.
Oh
I
no.
didn't mean to, Zach. I apologize.
Maybe. Who would be the most random wide receivers coach we could come up with?
Well, I mean, just about anybody.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, just
Like we were thinking of
Who was-
old Husker names.
Who was the
or
guy
something.
with surfer hair? Ross Pilkington.
Ross Pilkington.
Oh, Ross Pilkington.
That would be amazing.
If Nebraska hired Ross
How about
Pilkington.
Wilson Thomas?
Oh, Wilson Thomas, former Omaha North grad.
Good one.
Yeah, that's a nice name.
Larry Fitzgerald.
That would be an incredible hire. I don't
Would
know
it
if he'd
be?
be a good coach. I don't know. I like Larry Fitzgerald though. He's
He
one
was
of my
the
favorite
first-
players.
he was the first
everybody
football
likes
player
Larry
ever
Fitzgerald.
recognized
That
by
would
the
be
way.
a good hire.
He's
People
good.
forget he used to work out here.
He did?
Yeah, he used to work
Did he?
out in
Oh, with whiteouts?
No. This was earlier. This was
Like 2 days ago?
This is going back to the Steve Peterson days.
What?
Yeah.
Wow, I don't remember this at all.
He would work
What's
out
Fitz up
occasionally in
to
the
now?
off-season.
Even
He's on the sideline for Amazon Prime games.
Oh, he is, isn't he?
Or not Amazon Prime, the Monday night.
I've seen him. That's right.
He is?
He also goes to every Cardinals game.
I saw
sorry.
him on a sideline
Like
recently.
doing microphone stuff?
I think it was Monday.
Huh.
He was hanging out with Steve Young because they did that video about when do you know when to retire.
Yeah.
Steve Young said when you get your 400th concussion. I mean, it was pretty easy for him. He literally got knocked out cold in a football game.
He did get knocked out.
It's like one of the
cold.
earliest concussion memories I have of watching football.
And Larry
Steve Young.
Fitzgerald was like, I don't know, I'll play forever.
Yeah, seriously.
God, I'm trying to remember.
It says he still goes to every Cardinals game, and this has
nice.
ed to be a bad season for him.
Yeah, they suck.
It's got to be rough.
That's definitely one of those topics if you're stranded on a desert island with a group of guys, and you've run out of things to talk about. Does anyone remember their first concussion memory? I remember.
Where were you when you saw a
Roger
guy?
Staubach got knocked out of a game?
Here's a question. What's the first professional football game you remember watching? Or do you remember like teams randomly involved? Because for some reason, the first NFL memory I ever have is the Raiders were on.
Ooh.
Maybe that's why people liked them so much.
I think the first full game I remember is, I think it was Fitzgerald and the Rams, maybe Cardinals and Rams.
I might have the best one.
Was it a Super Bowl?
It was the Mud Bowl.
Got to be your bowl.
The Mud Bowl.
It was the 77 divisional playoff in the Coliseum. The Rams were hosting the Vikings, and it was the Rams, after all these years, finally got to play Minnesota in Southern California. After all these years of playing in Minnesota where it's 90 below. And it poured rain, and the whole field was a mud bog. It's on YouTube. It's a great watch just because the uniforms are just caked from head to toe in mud. That is, I think that's my earliest my earliest NFL memory.
Was there a Jets
watching that game?
Was there a Jets Dolphins playoff game at some point?
I don't think so.
I
Not
feel
that
like
I remember.
the first thing that came to my head was a Jets Dolphins playoff.
What about that classic Monday night game where the Jets came back? Was it that game?
I don't know.
Remember they threw it to the big lineman?
Yep.
Dennis Miller was on the call. God, what a weird year that was.
Well, no, there has been a Jets Dolphins
it's
playoff
way-
game, but it's before you were born. They played in the 82
wasn't
AFC
that.
Championship,
It would have been late. I got into the
which
NFL.
was another mud bowl, by the way.
I got into the NFL like really late. I probably didn't watch an NFL
Me too.
game for not as late as you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the mud bowl is my
The first
memory.
actual game that I can remember watching was Cowboys Vikings in the playoffs the year that Brett Favre won his first Super Bowl. So the Cowboys beat the Vikings, they killed the Vikings, and then they went and lost to the Panthers.
Oh yeah.
So that's the first actual game I remember.
I definitely
watching.
remember some Panthers Super Bowls. Remember the Jake Delhomme Panthers
Oh
Super Bowl.
man, I remember that. Super
Well,
Bowl.
you remember
Panthers
that for
won
another
Super Bowls?
reason.
They made them. They made Super Bowls.
Ah.
They've made 2 in our
Who,
lifetime. The
who?
Panthers. They made that year with
And
the
the
Janet
Cam
Jackson
Newton-
and
the
the
Cam
Cam Newton one.
Oh.
Oh man. We John and I, that whole Friday show, we were like, the Panthers are gonna kill the Broncos. Stibbs is just taking notes. He made like, I swear, an 8-minute open.
It was an 8-minute long
and it was just
open.
us. It was us crapping on the Broncos.
And that was
followed
really
by
funny.
highlights.
and that was the worst Super Bowl of all time, right?
That was a pretty bad game.
I mean, it was a bad. No, it's not even
Oh,
close
that
to
wasn't the
word.
one where the Broncos won by $1 billion, or was that the Seahawks?
The
one?
Seahawks beat the
Yeah.
Broncos by $1 billion.
That's
right.
Sadly,
That
he
was-
wasn't a full timer yet. Oh, that was a Super Bowl. That was one where you guys were like, "This is what it used to be like every year."
Yes,
Oh,
it was.
It was all blowouts.
The only thing that Super Bowl is memorable for, and we used to have the drop, it probably got killed by Neil and the Purge, was the commercial of the kid saying, "I died in a car."
Oh, I
accident."
died in an accident. Gosh, that commercial was so funny.
I remember those.
I died in an accident.
There it is. There it is.
Oh,
Right
is
here.
it this one?
Yep.
Okay.
I think this is it.
Because I died from an accident.
Ah!
An accident.
I don't remember what the commercial
what
was
was it
about.
for?
I don't either, but I just remember it was like, damn, that went dark in a hurry.
I feel like I remember that too. I definitely
That was
don't know what it
was from
for,
that
though.
Super Bowl.
I can't.
That was from when the
Why?
Broncos
because I
won?
died in an
No,
accident.
from the Seahawks over the Broncos.
Nationwide ads features death of a little boy.
Yep, I found it. I found the commercial.
Because I died in an accident. Gosh, that was weird. So it's the boy couldn't grow up. Oh, things like, yeah,
Is
and
it like insurance?
I didn't get to grow up because I died.
Way to guilt trip parents
But
into
what is it
getting insurance.
advertising?
Insurance.
Insurance.
I knew it.
It's nationwide.
Now,
It's on your
newsflash:
side.
insurance doesn't save your life.
Gives your parents money, though.
I mean, if you get in an accident and he dies in the car accident, the insurance will help pay for
My
the
parents didn't have
expenses,
insurance.
but the kid's still dead.
Unless they haven't reached the deductible.
My
right?
parents didn't have insurance, so they could have been rich. Instead, they get nothing, and I still died. The kid.
R.I.P.
Insurance.
Josh Hodson telling us the Jets-Dolphins game on Monday Night Football was October 14th, 2001.
That sounds probably about right.
Wow. That would be pretty crazy if
I
that
was
your
4.
first game.
That probably sounds about right.
Man.
Eric says Broncos versus Chiefs, Week 1, 1997. Love at first sight with Elway. Never looked back. Wow, that was their first year of winning the Super Bowl. What a time to become a fan of a team.
What date was that?
What, Week 1, 1997?
Yeah.
Sometime
probably
second
September.
Sunday in
no, it would have been
September?
first back then. It was still, they were still playing Labor Day weekend back in
I
1997.
was 4 months old.
Let's see. 1997 Denver Broncos. They opened the season. Week 1, as I scroll, on August 31st versus the Kansas City Chiefs. They won 19-3.
Wow.
Mhm.
What?
Yeah.
That does
John, NFL, seriously, it was way
not
earlier
in
back
August.
then. Yeah. Because that was Labor Day weekend. So Labor Day would have been the first.
Man, I don't remember it being that early. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
I liked that Broncos team. I
Shout
rooted
out
for them
to
in the
Elway.
playoffs.
Yep. All right. Well,
Mustache Adam. Nationwide, your kid just died. Wow. Wow.
Dang.
Wow.
Dang.
Wow.
I appreciate you singing that. That'll be a fun drop.
Oopsies. All right.
More quote tweets, by the way. Need those.
Oh, good. Yeah,
Need-
keep quote tweeting, folks.
Keep the quote tweet
keep
snake going.
Keep that train going, baby. Let's
Uh-huh.
just keep the quote tweets coming.
Snake, folks.
And
People have to know.
Yeah.
everyone needs to know.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone needs
And
to
this
know.
is the only way to properly
Inform the world.
quote tweets.
All right. Well, here we go. It's a One Beer Friday.
Have a good weekend, guys.
We'll do
You
our best.
too, Connor.
We'll do our best.
You too.
And we will have more. It's Unsportsmanlike Conduct on a Friday. One Beer Friday on 1620 The Zone.
Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Sharp. Have a great weekend. Have a great sports weekend. Make memories. And then join me on Monday morning at 6 for a brand new morning show. That's right. New, fresh, something you've never heard before. Monday at 6 a.m. on 1620 The Zone.
Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Staying cool and cloudy on Friday. Watch out for damp roads and possible fog early. Otherwise, expect mostly cloudy skies. A little breezy at times with northwest winds gusting up to 20 miles per hour. Highs around 38. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
There are actually two kinds of cigars. The first is the one you smoke with beloved family and friends. The second, the one you enjoy with friends you've just met. And you'll find both at Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge. At Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, there's a well-stocked humidor with some of the best bands from around the world and a bar with your favorite cocktails and other drinkables. So what do you say? Which cigar will you be enjoying tonight? Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, just off I-680 and 48th Street next to Cubby's. Right now, 1 in 3 people in the Omaha Council Bluffs Metro is experiencing signs of a mental health challenge. These people are your friends, family, colleagues, and neighbors. It can be daunting to reach out, but what if you had the tools to support them? Mental health first aid training is available to help you start these conversations. Prepare yourself with an action plan for identifying and addressing mental health challenges. Learn the signs and start the conversation. Call 211 or visit UnitedWayMidlands.org to sign up for free training today.
When shopping this holiday season, keep in mind that everyone already has a bread maker, 20 snow globes, and a popcorn tin collecting dust in their basement. What they don't have is an Absolutely Fresh gift card, good at Shucks, Bailey's, and Absolutely Fresh. Order one online at absolutelyfresh.com.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
This message is for the guy who isn't perfect in the bedroom. And let's be honest, who is? Maybe the issue is getting it up or keeping it up, or maybe it's finishing too soon. If any of these performance hiccups sound familiar to you, don't sweat it. Hims can help. At 4hims.com, you can go online and get clinically proven prescription medication that treats these issues prescribed for you, if appropriate, by licensed medical providers. And the medication is shipped free to your door in discreet packaging. Plus, Hims gives you unlimited follow-up visits with medical providers. No one's perfect in the bedroom every time, but with Hims, you can get a lot closer than before. And chances are, your partner will agree.
To get started today, go to 4hims.com/perfect. That's 4hims.com/perfect for your free visit. FORHIMS.com/PERFECT.
This is Scott Schultz from Host Coffee. 2022 marks our 50th year and business has never been better. We continue to grow and add new customers. Many employers are looking for new ideas for their staff as people return to the office. Our pantry service is a great office amenity for staff and guests. Fresh food, snacks, coffee, water, and other beverages for employees and guests. Enhance your office experience with pantry service from Host Coffee. Learn more at hostcoffee.net.
Creighton men's soccer is College Cup bound for the first time since 2012. The Blue Jays take on Syracuse in the semifinal round today, and kickoff from Cary, North Carolina is set for 5 p.m. on ESPNU. That's today, 5 p.m. on ESPNU.
Hey, you got any gum?
Yeah, check my backpack.
What's this?
Oh, that's naloxone. It can reverse an opioid overdose. I decided to always keep it on me after my friend almost died. It saved his life.
I'm so sorry. That makes me want to have it with me too.
You totally should. Check the pharmacy. It was actually really easy to get, and it's easy to use.
I definitely will. Thanks.
Paid for by the CDC. Sponsored by Nebraska DHHS. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This edition of Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone is proudly presented by Union Bank and Trust. The program starts now.
John!
There's not even words to this.
It's art, John.
It's just some guy having an asthma attack.
His name is Santa.
Oh, Merry Christmas!
John! Josh! And Nick.
What the hell was that?
I love this.
Oh, we still got the
sax solo.
The sax solo.
Need that hot sax.
Oboe? I'm not sure. This is what happens when Mrs. Claus puts crack in the cookies. It's like a Santa Claus fever dream.
Number 9. What about my name?
Your name was kind of in there sometimes.
Barely.
I mostly heard me and John.
Barely.
Ian, thank you.
Thank you, Ian.
Ian, I love you.
Merry Christmas.
That was so good.
North Pole fever dream is what
And
that was.
happy holidays.
Happy Honda days, too.
Happy Honda days. Have a handy holiday, folks.
Ian, you're the best.
Jordan says, how nice of Santa to introduce you guys as Ho-Ho and Ho.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Merry Christmas.
There's a lot going on there.
Asian Joe says, A for effort, Nick, but this intro is a stocking full of coal.
It wasn't me, Joe. I didn't
It
make
wasn't him.
Wow, how dare you go up against Ian like that?
Yeah,
that's
geez,
rude. We
Joe.
like Ian, Joe.
The John Williams of the program.
Ian, by the way, said that if you got through the full a minute 45, he was going to buy you a Nissan. I think you just got a car.
Oh, congrats on the new Leaf.
Awesome. Good on you,
Are
Nick.
we sure this isn't some radio trick? You know, you ever heard of the radio trick where someone says if you get the question right, you win a new Toyota, and then the person wins and they actually give them a toy Yoda?
A radio station got in trouble for that a few years back.
did.
They made it illegal.
So I'm
now.
trying to think Nissan.
Well,
There's
he
not a-
said it.
is
He
there a
just said, I
player?
owe Nick a Nissan, and
Well, there
he
you
spelled
go.
it the normal way. Congrats on the vehicle, Nick.
Thanks,
There you
Ian.
Your cars kind of suck, don't
No,
they?
my car sucks. It's
yeah,
horrible.
so this is great. This is good news for Nick.
It's an S box.
Also, by the way, I asked the folks on Twitter, what's the first NFL game they remember watching? We're getting a lot of responses, so just let us know what's the first. Sean says 1973 Bills versus Jets. I didn't realize Sean was this old. OJ gets to 2,000 yards in the snow. Sean, I didn't realize you were that old. I thought you were younger than me.
Wow. Again,
No, I just
more
saying-
age shaming
No,
over
I'm just
here.
shaming. He
More
seems
age
younger than his age actually is. If anything, that's a positive for me.
What's my age again?
What is your age again, Nick?
Well, welcome to the program, everyone. Happy Victory Friday, everybody. Hit them. Here's my highlights.
23 remaining, 15 seconds. Mayfield flings it left side, end zone. Caught! Caught by Van Jefferson! With 9 seconds remaining. Touchdown! LA! Mayfield, comma Baker, the touchdown maker.
Him bake better.
Is that let him bake? Is that what we're saying now,
God.
John? Is that what we're saying?
That was, I seriously, I was just laughing.
Oh, that's what you were doing.
And laughing.
I'm happy for you.
my ass
Yeah, I'm
And
off.
not
stoked
happy
for you,
for my
John.
pick'em, but I'm happy for you.
Hey, I won bet of the day finally again.
Yeah, after I gave you grief for just not taking
I
them
mean,
to cover.
first it starts with the Rams blowing the damn punt and not knocking it out of bounds. Instead, it goes down to the 2-yard line. But the 98-yard drive last night was the longest game-winning touchdown drive that began with less than 2 minutes to play by any team in the last 45 years.
And it's of all the teams, it's this bad Rams team with a
Of all-
brand new
of all the
quarterback.
quarterbacks.
He just joined the
much
roster.
maligned quarterback who'd been there for 48 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Teams are now 4 and 551 all time when trailing by 13 or more points in the final 4 minutes in the last 5 seasons, including playoffs. Half of those 4 wins came in the last 4 days, courtesy of Tom Brady and America's MVP, Baker Mayfield.
America's MVP.
America's MVP.
Is that what they're calling him now?
And
Nationwide is
just
on
to
your
show that I'm an
side.
equal opportunity offender, someone put out an all-time list of the Raiders coaches who have had 10-point or more halftime leads at least 4 times. John Madden was 36-1-1 in such games.
Wow.
If he had a lead of 10 or more points at
He was good to
halftime,
go.
they went 36-1-1. Tom Flores, 27-3. Gruden went 21-2. Art Shell, 16-4. Jack Del Rio, 10-0.
Wow.
Bill Callahan, 8-2.
Uh,
Hugh Jackson
I remember Hugh.
went 3-2. Josh McDaniels, 0-4.
Good God. Josh, what are you doing? You're giving people with my name a bad name. Bad name.
What, McDaniels?
Get
feel
out.
bad for all the McDaniels.
I feel
out
bad.
there.
Hey,
for all
hold
the
on. No, Mike is okay.
I feel bad for all the McDaniels out there.
Yeah.
Come on, Josh.
That just,
El Scorcho says you're welcome for Baker, John. There you go. Look at that. The positive boys. I mean, technically, it wasn't. It was the Panthers who kind of.
the Panthers were the ones who cut him.
Exactly. The Browns got rid of
Thank
him
you,
a while
waiver
ago.
wire.
By the way, my mom has chimed in on the open. She says it's a great intro. She is team ho ho ho.
You might want to check. You might want to do a welfare check because she may be on something.
Josh's mom is very cool and very nice.
Yes,
right.
thank
But
you,
that was like a Santa Claus fever dream.
Yeah, it was a little weird.
Yeah,
it got crazy.
It was amazing.
Oh, it definitely did.
It got crazy there. It's
Definitely.
almost like that was one of the.
That's what happens when the milk sits out too long.
What was that? What was that movie? Was it The Nightmare Before Christmas?
Never saw that movie.
Was that a movie?
The
It
Tim
was a
Burton
movie.
Yeah, Tim Burton movie.
Yeah, Nightmare
that
Before
sounds
Christmas.
like one of the songs from the soundtrack that just didn't quite make
Oh.
it to the album.
Man, I
that'd be
can't
cool.
stand Tim Burton. I hate
Wow.
that guy. I
But
hate
you know
Tim
what?
Burton.
Wow.
I like
And
it.
Johnny Depp.
It's good. Well done, Ian, and I assume that was Stibbs' voice there.
It sounded like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just
From the
mixed in a lot
grave.
of Stib.
Stibbs from the grave. R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Wow. Another Shane says that his first NFL game he remembers watching was the Cowboys Dolphins Snow Bowl on Thanksgiving when
Oh,
Nate
the Leon
Newton
Lett
or Leon
game.
Lett.
The Cowboys and Dolphins both played in the snow.
Yeah, in Dallas.
It was a freak snowstorm in Dallas.
And Dallas, the stadium used to have
a hole in the roof because
God wanted to watch his favorite football team.
That sounds kind of cool. Wanted to look down and laugh.
Search it, Nick. Search Cowboys Dolphins Snowball. The highlights are glorious.
This
Dallas
is the
loses.
full game. What year was that?
93, right?
93.
They still won the Super Bowl, but and he was just involved in some
Miami
weird-ass
setting
plays.
up for a game-winning field goal. It gets blocked.
Mm-hmm.
But the ball is live. Leon Lett, who was an defensive lineman for the Cowboys, goes to recover the ball, but he
slides
slips in
into the
snow.
ball.
He kicks the ball. The ball is live. The Dolphins recover it, and they get a second try at a field goal and win the game.
Amazing.
I would be so triggered if that happened.
Oh, it was a Thanksgiving game.
Yeah, it was Thanksgiving.
Jordan says Josh's mom is used to having to compliment mediocre things. Wow.
Ooh, I found the full game, boys.
That's not a good way to
Fast forward to the end. It is hilarious.
it's pretty funny.
And the Dolphins were playing with backup quarterback. Marino
Were
was
they-
out.
Was Garrett playing in that game too, or was Aikman playing? Because Garrett played in one of those Thanksgiving games or two back in the 90s.
I don't remember.
Oh,
I don't
man,
remember.
football.
You got to get through all
That's
these.
a hell of a first game to.
That is a good
watch.
first game to remember.
That's a.
I'm not
so
surprised.
cool.
I bet a lot of people's first NFL memories are like mine,
Holidays.
like a playoff game,
Yep,
and it
yep.
was over the holidays.
For mine, it
or
was a playoff
Thanksgiving.
game. Yeah.
Because that's usually when the family's all gathered around and the game's on.
Yeah, look at all that snow.
They can't even see the
Yeah.
lines on the field.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Now this is great. Now that Nick's into football, he's going to love the playoffs this year because we'll hopefully get a nice snow game.
Oh, the Dolphins are wearing my favorite jerseys.
The green ones,
The
or-
teals.
yeah,
The aquas.
And
The aquas.
back when they had better helmets, man, those uniforms,
The old school
classic,
logo.
classic uniforms. Bring them back, Miami. Come on, bring them back.
They kind of brought him back to that Steelers game this season.
Coming up on the program today, your lineup powered by the Rooferys at John Against Weather Guard. It's Kent's Movie Club, Bad News Bears, and Brandon Huffman of 24/7 Sports. He has known Tony White, Nebraska's now official new defensive coordinator, for several years, and so we're going to get some insight on him. Plus, a little more on the 3-3-5.
Oh,
the 3-3-5, and you're welcome as well. But the number, you know what? We need to change our number. It used to be like 402-335.
1620. I like that
it's
idea.
Still 402-951-1620.
Awesome.
Or you can email Equitable Bank inbox John at 1620thezone.com or Josh at 1620thezone.com.
Also,
JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed at USC 1620.
where you can tweet your One Beer Friday pictures at us.
Yes.
And we have
a $25 gift card
to
the Bearded Brewer, baby.
The Bearded Brewer
is
today's Nebraska featured brewer. Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild bringing you One Beer Friday on this December the 9th.
Awesome.
December the
9th. Oh, happy 9 day.
Happy 9 day. On 1620 The Zone. John Bishop here for McCarthy's 1 hour heating and air conditioning. This is the folks who are always on time, or you don't pay a dime. Furley certified technicians, straightforward service and pricing. You know the job's going to be done right the first time, and you always win with the You Win guarantee. This allows you, if you're not satisfied with your service, to appeal to make sure that that job will be done right, or you will get your money back. You can find out more at McCarthy's1hour.com. That's where you can also sign up for the McCarthy's Comfort Club, which gets you a twice annual inspection of your furnace and AC to make sure everything's working properly and safely, plus discounts on repairs, priority service, and a whole lot more. Visit them online, McCarthy's1hour.com, for McCarthy's 1 hour heating and air conditioning. The folks who are always on time, or you don't pay a dime. McCarthy's 1 hour heating and air conditioning, McCarthy's1hour.com.
It's an NFL doubleheader on Sports USA. And first, we're in the Empire State as Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills host Garrett Wilson and the high-flying New York Jets. Then we head to the Rockies as Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs try to wrangle the Denver Broncos with Russell Wilson and Jared Judy.
Steps around one defender and goes into the end zone. Touchdown, Denver.
It's the Jets at the Bills, then the Chiefs at the Broncos. This Sunday on Sports USA.
If it's the NFL, it's on 1620 The Zone.
Last year, I enrolled my family for health care coverage through the health insurance marketplace. Do I need to enroll again?
Yes, we have seen the plans available through the marketplace change, and new options may be available.
you must re-enroll for 2023 to ensure you or your family are in the right plan for your budget and needs. Charles Drew Health Center in Omaha can help. Just call 402-451-3553 to set up an appointment with a team member.
I don't have health coverage, and I'm worried that if I get sick, I can't afford the medical bills. How do I get started?
Getting started is easy and free. Just call to set up an appointment with a Navigator enrollment specialist. We will explain your coverage options, answer any questions, help you enroll, and see if you qualify for financial assistance. Open enrollment is November 1st through January 15th. Re-enroll in healthcare coverage or enroll for the first time. Call Charles Drew Health Center at 402-451-3553 to set up an appointment.
Hey everybody, it's Michael Zuber for Ted and Wally's. One of the things that Ted and Wally's does is go along with the seasons, whether it's the summer or it's the spring or it's the fall, and of course, the winter and holidays, and the holiday flavors are amazing. Let me suggest a couple of them for you. Coffee beignet and ooey gooey cake. You are going to love both of them, and so will your family and friends. Swing by the two locations, whether it's Benson, next to Taste of New Orleans, or in the Old Market, and get the holiday flavors today. Grab a gift card while you're there as well, and always tell them Severe sent you.
Got a sink that won't drain? For a limited time, we'll open your drain for only $93 or it's free. Hi, I'm Mark Evans, owner of Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and more. Sometimes a plunger just isn't enough. Burton's team of experts is on call 24/7 for emergency repairs. We offer upfront pricing, and your 100% satisfaction is guaranteed. Call for details on our 93 or free special or request service at justcallburton.com.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call on the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym. Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get. Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me. I've seen that on TV. Is it for real? Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean. And it's made a difference for you? Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom. Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves? Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text POWER to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text POWER to 321-321. That's POWER to 321-321.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
Some things can wait. Chores, mowing the lawn, and hey, that laundry, it's not going anywhere. But if you're 50 or older or live with a chronic condition, untreated COVID could be deadly. And if you don't get treatment within days, you might not be able to. So, got COVID symptoms? Talk to a doctor and get treatment right away because it just can't wait. We can do this. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Since this is a radio commercial, you can't see the people standing behind me. They're the Langfeld family. Everybody wave. Oh, sorry. You can't see them because radio. Anyway, the Langfelds are the family behind Langfeld Overhead Door, where they proudly install Midland garage doors to fit any space and style. And they don't take a backseat to anyone when it comes to their service. Because if something goes wrong, it's their name on the line. So they're going to make sure it goes right every single time. Langfeld Overhead Door, 402-234-2700.
The brand new Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair is now hiring. Starting wages up to $20.10 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply at the Holiday Inn Blair Monday through Wednesday, 9:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and the Florence City Hall Thursday and Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. for on-the-spot interviews. Unable to attend? Apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
You're listening to Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson on 1620 The Zone.
More responses into the inbox, Equitable Bank inbox. John wants to know what in the ever-loving hell was the disaster of an open? Is Nick trying to piss listeners off?
Disaster. What is wrong with who is that listener?
That's from John.
John.
That was
Without an
amazing.
H?
Yeah.
John. I know that John. I don't know him. He emails a lot.
Yeah.
John, no.
All right, so first of all, John, I didn't make it. But second of all, I wish I would have because it's awesome.
Yeah. Look, sometimes the Beatles experimented.
There's nothing wrong with some
Sometimes.
avant-garde.
Pretty much everything after 63 was an experiment, I think.
That's a great point.
And
John.
they changed
deep
the
experience.
foundation of music
Yeah,
forever.
and that stuff is awesome. Number 9. That song sucks.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Here's my Beatles, my favorite band of all time. People know this. I'm going to give you a take.
Do you listen to them at 1.5 times speed? Too?
No, just that's double, but only pods. White Album. A little
out on the whites.
No. It just has some fat that could be trimmed. If it wasn't a double album and it was a single album and you threw a song, you know what song they recorded, Nick, during the White Album sessions that they did not include on the White Album?
I do not.
Hey Jude.
Oh.
You throw Hey Jude on there, you cut out something like Revolution 9. That album is maybe the best album of all
Revolution?
time. 9?
Which one?
Number 9?
The one where they say number 9 for 9 minutes? No, I'm not on that song. It's not a banger, as the kids would say.
I'm cool with it because it doesn't need to be a bang. Sometimes you just have an idea and you need to put it out there.
Yeah, well,
No,
you don't need to.
to.
That's something that like Kanye would say. Sometimes you have an idea and you need to put it out there.
No, Kanye would say and has said a lot of
was a big, I've got a thought in my head.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to put it out there. Mr. H.
Yeah, Nick, is that what you're
It took
saying?
us 48 minutes today.
Hey, the overhead again. That's the second time this week the overhead.
That's right. The overs have hit.
Mm.
Speaking of white.
Oh, no.
Whoa. Nebraska has a new defensive coordinator. His name is Tony White.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the uniform color that they'll be wearing tomorrow versus Purdue in basketball.
No.
Oh.
Thought he was talking about Argentina. He was getting really into this game.
Argentina?
We have run through the statics, or the statistics, as the kids call them. And this is going back to his Arizona State days as well. Now, at Arizona State, White was the pass defense coordinator.
Okay.
But we put all the numbers on there anyway. And if you're watching along on 1620 The Zone TV, 1620thezone.com, you can see this. We tweeted this out from the J Tech Construction Zone Twitter feed. But if you noticed, the improvement that took place, and we mentioned this yesterday, but in scoring defense, White's first Syracuse defense was 90th in the country.
Mm-hmm.
This past season, they shaved 10 points. 10 points off the game average. 35th best in the country. In rush defense, they actually made a pretty big leap. And this is where we'll get in. We'll do this in the next segment. We'll get into the whole 3-3-5 thing. But
triggers.
0.1 yards per carry.
Wow.
Off of, we got a fight in the World Cup.
Look at John. You can't stop watching this World Cup match.
Well, when you actually see people not flopping and actually taking a punch, it's kind of intriguing.
Getting flopped.
But they shaved a yard 0.1 per carry off the average from year 1 to year 2. This past year, still respectable, 42nd in the country, 3.8 yards a carry. Pass defense, 68th in the country in 2020. This past year, 23rd. Total defense, yards per play, 75th in the country in year 1, 21st this past year. I also wanted to look at sacks.
Because this is what people have really been talking about. You read a lot,
Yes.
you watch the videos about his defense. Often the word havoc comes up.
Yep.
Wreaking havoc. And sacks is mentioned quite a bit.
They were 58th in the country in sacks, 2.2 per game. Last year, they were 15th in the country, over 3 sacks a game. This past year, it fell off a little bit, but still 2.5 sacks a game, 35th in the country. Pretty good at turnovers, too. Pretty decent at turnovers, including fumble recoveries. So there you go. There's some of the numbers on Tony White.
You mentioned the takeaways. They had 7 takeaways in 2021. They were 95th in the country in turnover margin as a team, which obviously a lot of that's going to be on your offense too.
Sure.
2022, the defense, 19 takeaways. They ranked 20th in the country overall in turnover margin because they were plus 7. So again, that's not all on you. A lot of it's going to be on the offense as well. Half of the stats on the offense, but the takeaways went up from 21 to 22.
Right. So And doing a little more research into the 335, it's rather intriguing.
Absolutely it is.
And there was a line, and we'll share it with you coming up. But, one of the things that people around these parts like to cling to, especially the older fans,
the Klingons,
is how unique and different Nebraska was from everyone else in the country with the offense that they ran. Well, this is the defensive equivalent. It's a unique defense that not a lot of teams run. Syracuse obviously has run it. Iowa State runs a version of the 3-3-5. Not many others do. And it's something that's a little bit different and takes a little time to adjust to. And I know you tweeted it out. I retweeted it.
The video?
I didn't quote tweet it. I just retweeted it.
Thank you. Thank you, John.
But there's about a 20-minute long video out there. Someone did a deep dive into Syracuse's 3-3-5, Tony White's 3-3-5. That's rather educational.
Great word to describe
rather educational, rather enlightening into the philosophies of this defense. And a reminder, friends.
I'm going to retweet it, by the way, at USC 1620.
You can't take away everything, right? There are weaknesses with the 4-3. There are weaknesses with the 3-4. There are weaknesses with running 5 DBs all the time, or dime defense, or what Bo did with the peso. There's weaknesses with all of them.
Peso.
But this one's rather intriguing in some of the philosophies behind it, and we will talk more about that when we continue. Here on Unsportsmanlike Conduct in 1620 The Zone.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for Rossi Clothiers. Coming up tonight and tomorrow, it is their Jerry K exclusive design event, their line of clothing made in Italy, and it is only carried here in Omaha at Rossi Clothiers, whether it is their finished denim shirts, their leather jackets, a modern and fresh approach to menswear. And speaking of modern, speaking of fresh, they will help you out at Rossi Clothiers as the holiday season has arrived. You are looking for something to wear to a holiday party. You're looking for something to wear to work. You're just looking for something because you want to look good. Rossi Clothiers will help you, whether it is the custom shirts, they're made-to-measure suits, the trousers, all the way down to the accessories, the ties, the gloves, the shoes, and a whole lot more. They have you covered there at Rossi Clothiers. As the year comes to a close, you need to look great, and this is the place that can help you do so. Don't forget about the event coming up tonight and tomorrow, Rossi Clothiers, located in Rockbrook Village.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Buy your next vehicle your way from anywhere with Woodhouse. Start your journey online at woodhouse.com. Easily shop all new and pre-owned inventory, explore payment options, and apply for financing. Ready to purchase? Schedule your new vehicle for pickup from the dealership or have it delivered to your driveway. Need a little extra help in determining your perfect vehicle? Our knowledgeable and local dealerships can guide you to the vehicle that best matches your needs. Experience car buying your way with Woodhouse, a trusted auto partner since 1975.
T-Mobile says they offer home internet. But if their internet comes from a cell phone network, you should know. It's just phone internet, not home internet. Keep your home up to speed with Cox. Cox internet is faster and has more reliable download speeds than T-Mobile 5G home internet. Cox is the real home internet you're looking for. Based on Cox analysis of Ookla speed test intelligence data Q3 2022 and Cox serviceable areas. Visit cox.com/internet for details.
Welcome to OmahaWeekendDeals.com, where we bring you deals to some of your favorite restaurants and events every weekend. This weekend's deal is to Control Coffee and Cereal Bar. Control is a casual place to explore new tastes, meet friends, and have business chats while enjoying your favorite brew, drinks, and of course cereal. Control has over 30 cereals to choose from, and Control even provides the fun with retro games. Stop by today at 1016 South 10th Street in Omaha. Head to OmahaWeekendDeals.com now to get yours.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Some things can wait. Chores, mowing the lawn, and hey, that laundry, it's not going anywhere. But if you're 50 or older or live with a chronic condition, untreated COVID could be deadly. And if you don't get treatment within days, you might not be able to. So, got COVID symptoms? Talk to a doctor and get treatment right away because it just can't wait. We can do this. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Where do holiday happenings take over every aisle? Lowe's, actually. Right now, you'll save big on everything you need for the holiday season. Get up to 50% off select pre-lit Christmas trees and holiday living LED string lights. Plus, save on your gift list with up to 50% off select tools and accessories. The holidays are here, and so are the savings. Only at Lowe's. Offers valid through 12/14. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
The mystery, the intrigue, the 335. It's the 335. What is the 335? I'm sure a lot of Husker fans were Googling the 335 last night. Well, so was I.
335 boy.
As we told you yesterday, there was, I half joked about, Syracuse being the team of Jim Boeheim, who historically has always played the 2-3 zone all the time on defense.
Mm-hmm.
Very few teams in basketball do that. And I joked that, well, this is like the 2-3 zone of college football. And it kind of is. It's a different defense. And it was originally designed for a couple of reasons. It was designed for teams that had smaller defensive linemen and didn't have a lot of depth. As you're only using 3 down linemen, you're using 3 linebackers and 5 defensive backs. And according to Dino Babers, if you're at a place where you have the ability to get a lot of good defensive linemen all the time, you don't have to go to it. But if you're at a place where sometimes you have good defensive linemen, sometimes you don't, it can be a defense that can really confuse quarterbacks in the throw game and really give offensive lines problems in the run game. This defense was invented in the early 80s. Joe Lee Dunn was the assistant coach at New Mexico.
So around the time that the Raiders won their last Super Bowl.
Close to the time when the Raiders won their last Super Bowl. Joe Lee Dunn was the one who invented it, and one of his staff members was Rocky Long. That's his name.
What are you
Nick.
laughing about
His
over there,
name is
Giggle
Rocky
Boy?
Long. By the way,
Jeez.
Howie Long played on the last Raiders team that won a Super Bowl.
People forget.
It's a really funny name.
Long, of course, would become the head coach at New Mexico and San Diego State. And, oh, by the way, that's where, well, one of his stops was UCLA, where he recruited a linebacker from El Paso, Texas by the name of Tony White.
Who is Nebraska's new defensive coordinator?
Who is?
I liked this from Sam McEwen earlier today. He said his 3-3-5 scheme isn't magic. Like anything, you have to execute it well, but it creates a lot of pressure and havoc, which is part of how the Qs posted 37 and 30 sacks the last 2 seasons. Also, and this stat was in a bunch of the stuff that I read about him, their defense was number 2 in the country in allowing plays of 20 yards or more. So they really did a great job at not allowing the big plays throughout the season.
The one thing, because of the unpredictability of the 3-3-5, and you have more hybrid players, which again fits with the Matt Rule recruiting philosophy.
Fits.
And the Matt Rule recruiting philosophy being, to go out and recruit athletes, certain measurables, and maybe guys who don't necessarily fit into a typical stereotype of what, body types certain players are. This defense, of course, allows you to do that. It allows you to rush from different angles. It confuses the quarterback because sometimes those linebackers are blitzers and sometimes they're pass coverers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the supposed weak spot in the area where a lot of detractors yesterday were screaming from the hilltop that this won't work in the Big
John,
Ten.
have you seen this league? There are big players, linemen, and such.
But
It's a soft defense.
San Diego State once had the second best. Did the Netherlands score what they did?
No way!
Max, super Max.
So the Netherlands
Max
just
Verstappen
tied
is
it.
from the Netherlands.
They basically Baker
The
Mayfield.
Argentiners are sad.
The Baker Mayfield of the
Argentines?
tournament just scored 2
Argentines?
goals in the last 10 minutes, and this one
Wow.
came in the last minute of extra time. So that looks like we're going to go to extra time in this one too.
Extra.
This is stoppage time. We're going into extra
Whatever.
time. I just don't want the soccer people to yell at us. To yell at
Let
you.
them yell at us. I will yell at them back for having a stupid sport that doesn't
Make the
stop
clock count down.
John
And make
hates
it
soccer,
stop.
but man, when it's on, he gets so into it. Every time we have soccer on in the studio, he watches it more than I do. You do. You're walking around.
don't.
You were commenting on it during the break.
No, I was just commenting
reading
on all the funny names.
People's first football games they ever
like Van
watched.
Dyck.
Do any soccer guys know why that one guy just lays down?
I
No,
still
yeah,
don't know why the
soccer people.
Yeah,
why is
soccer people? Why do we have a guy that just randomly lays down? Maybe it's for plays like that where the ball snakes through and then
They should have just been on the ground. If you were on the ground, you would have stopped it.
He missed the dude on the ground.
Dude on the ground didn't even move. He was just kind of there.
He got
you can't,
5
I mean, when you're
holds.
on the ground, you can't really,
Man, right
it's kinda
through
hard
his
to-
legs.
Anyway, back to the 3-3-5.
Maybe that's what they're doing in soccer.
That defense was not the 3-3-5 because they
Oh.
would have stopped him.
But usually the defensive line lines up heads up, and it's a one-gap defense. And we all remember the arguments back in the day of Bo Pelini. Why are you making these guys 2-gap? In other words, the defensive linemen had to play 2 different gaps. They had to hold up their guy in front of them, and
And
play
it was
2
really
different
good
gaps
if
in
you
the
had
run
like the best player in the sport,
game.
named Ndamukong Suh.
Yeah, and a couple guys next to him who were pretty good too.
Yeah.
But this is a one-gap technique. But when you line up heads up over the guy in front of you, nose tackle over the center, ends over the tackles, it's hard to tell, at least from first blush. If you're shading, you kind of know which gap that guy's going to take. But if you're not shading, you don't know which gap that guy's going to take, because then that's where your linebackers come in and they can fill those empty gaps in the run game. Again, it's supposed to create confusion.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the hang up with this defense is by design, you technically only have 6 guys in the box, right? But that's where the 7th guy comes in, the rover.
Mike Brown?
Curiosity?
Well, Mike Brown was a rover, but he wasn't a rover in this defense. There's a guy who you might remember, especially you Bears fans. His name was Brian Urlacher.
I remember him.
All-pro linebacker.
When
he was under Rocky Long at New Mexico State.
Mm-hmm.
He was this rover player. He was this hybrid deep safety / linebacker who became an All-American playing this position. He was basically a home wrecker. He would be that 7th guy in the box. He would either crash down and be that 7th guy in the box, or he could stay back and play in pass coverage. And forced a lot of fumbles, had 11 sacks, and basically parlayed that into an all-pro career with the Chicago Bears.
Theo writes, Syracuse had a 73rd ranked run defense in 2022, but good job polishing this turd, fellas. Credit where credit is due.
Now, again, going back to my graphic, I don't look at yards. I look at yards per play. And in
yards per rush.
Yards per rush. And in yards per rush, Syracuse was 42nd.
Yep.
that means more to me than actual total yards, because if you have a game,
shows what you're doing on a play-to-play basis,
right? And if you're playing, I mean, if you're playing a game with a lot of possessions, you're gonna have more
with
yards,
maybe a lot of stoppage time,
or something.
What if you playing 20 overtimes? Yeah.
So anyway, I would direct you to the video that Josh retweeted.
Yeah.
From earlier. It's about 20 minutes long, but it's a nice primer on who Tony White is, where he comes from, and the philosophy behind the 3-3-5, and also how it works in pass coverage as well.
Zach writes, Alabama and Georgia both play a lot of 3-3-5 schemes. Gary Patterson was a 3-3-5 guy at TCU. Those aren't bad defenses. Remember how bent out of shape a lot of people were that Nebraska didn't hire Fickle when Wisconsin hired him? Fickle is a 3-3-5 guy. His defenses haven't been bad, and that's what he's taking to Wisconsin. Tony White isn't guaranteed to work at Nebraska, but it's also not a foregone conclusion that he can't work at Nebraska. It's going to be a couple of seasons before we know for sure. This coach, of all the coaches that they have hired so far, he seems to be the most, assistant coaches I'm talking about, the most proven in a good way with what he is bringing to Nebraska. We'll have on Brandon Huffman from 24/7 Sports in about an hour or so, and we'll talk to him about it. But I mean, the writing and the videos that I've seen about him in about 24 hours seems a lot of people are high on this guy. National people are high on this guy. People who covered him at Syracuse are high on this guy. I mentioned the big plays. I read something from Syracuse.com today. Tony White's 3-3-5 Syracuse defense had a much better report card in terms of how many explosive plays Syracuse gave up in 2022 versus what the Orange offense produced. Plays of 10-plus yards given up was 136. That ranked 25th, John, in the country. 20-plus yards, already mentioned it, 5th. 30-plus yards, 8th in the country. And 40-plus yards in a play, 19th in the country. So it was a team that did a really, really, really good job at doing that. Not to mention, we've talked, of course, about recruiting with basically every coach that they've hired, because a lot of them have recruiting backgrounds. One of the things that our friend Mike Schaefer wrote about him in his quick studies was he is a relentless recruiter, a multi-time winner of awards for recruiting at San Diego State. He is highly regarded throughout Southern California and immediately gives Nebraska a presence again on the West Coast for the first time since Mike Riley. So it's a guy who recruits well, it's a guy who has relationships, and it's a guy who has put a defense on the field that has had a lot of success. And again, the success that he has had at Syracuse, think of the school that I'm describing. If those were the rankings of his defense, let's just pretend he was the Alabama DC. Those numbers would be a huge concern. Oh my gosh, the 40 whatever ranked in yards per carry at Bama, huge concern. But doing so at Syracuse with those players, pretty solid, especially a program that's been kind of crappy on the field over the last few years.
One more quote here. This is Joe Lee Dunn, again, the creator of the 3-3-5. He said, quote, "We had undersized defensive linemen, so we converted our speed into the strength of our defense." Editor's note. Remember how when Nebraska switched from the 5-2 to the 4-3 in the early 90s, one of the things was to turn the linebackers into defensive linemen and the
People
safeties
forget.
into the linebackers to emphasize speed, because that's what Miami and Florida State were doing? All right. We converted our speed into the strength of our defense, and pretty much our game plan was to fire in all directions and then let nothing over the top in cover 3. People think of it as a defense to defend spread attacks, but in reality, it was a defense to attack pro-style offenses with undersized defensive players. Remember, when this defense was first created, there was no spread offenses. People were running, there were still a lot of option attacks, and there were a lot of pro-style attacks. There was not a lot of spread. Heck, the run and shoot hadn't even been invented.
Nice.
Or at least hadn't gone wildly public. So anyway, just a little bit of background on the 3-3-5.
Jordan says Calabrasca is making a comeback.
I see. I knew people would cling
I
on
know.
to
I
that
could
too.
see your reaction when I said the name Mike Riley.
Reminder: Nebraska's recruited a lot of players out of California for a very long time. They've had a lot of success. A lot of success recruiting California. Maybe the best running back of all time came from California. Just saying.
Nice.
So
nice.
Just a thought. Just a thought for everybody. Kent Wogemont coming up. We'll have more on this with Brandon Hoffman in about an hour. He's from 24/7 Sports. He knows Tony White pretty well. Has been covering him for the last 15 years. But when we come back, it is time for a countdown to September 9th.
Oh, baby.
We got a lot of news and notes, including a big visit weekend. The battle for Malachi Coleman is on,
folks.
And Colorado might actually be serious this time about keeping you, Husker fan, out of their crib.
Oh.
All coming up in a new feature that we're going to be having for a long time because it's countdown to September 9th.
Let's go, which is 9 months from today.
9
months.
9 months from 9/9
today.
Wow, it was 12/9 today. Oh, we're 9 months from 9/9. I see what you're saying.
And you know where you will be able to place a wager on this game?
Where, John?
On the FanDuel Sportsbook, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000, which means free bets back if your first bet doesn't win. And all you need to do is remember our promo code 1620. Great prop bets are available for virtually every game out there. Check it out. Whether it's pro football, college football, the NBA, NHL, even the World Cup. There are prop bets, of course, the regular game bets, and with same-game parlays, you can mix those results together for bigger payouts, which means more money in your pocket from FanDuel.
I got 2 games that I'm keeping my eye on this weekend. In terms of wagering, John, I like Cincinnati to get the victory over Cleveland, and I like them to cover the 5.5 as they continue their winning ways. Also, I've mentioned this throughout the week. Give me the over in Texans versus Cowboys because Dallas will put some of the second-string defenders on the field as the game goes on. 44.5 there. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today. Put in that promo code 1620. And if I am wrong, no problem at all. It's no sweat first bet for up to $1,000. So if you lose one of those, you get free bets back if that first bet does not win with that promo code 1620. 21 plus and present in Iowa. First online real money wager only. Refund is issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions do apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Sharp. Have a great weekend. Have a great sports weekend. Make memories. And then join me on Monday morning at 6 for a brand new morning show. That's right. New, fresh, something you've never heard before. Monday at 6 a.m. on 1620 The Zone.
Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Staying cool and cloudy on Friday. Watch out for damp roads and possible fog early. Otherwise, expect mostly cloudy skies. A little breezy at times with northwest winds gusting up to 20 miles per hour. Highs around 38. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
Here's a little Christmas tip. Never ask Santa for adult beverages. Seriously, can you imagine the legal implications of carrying quality, locally brewed Nebraska beer or cider while flying a sleigh? So if you want your family and friends to gift you some Nebraska brewed awesomeness, ask and ye shall receive. Your local Nebraska Brewers Guild wants you to know that local brewers are currently working on special seasonal brews to make your holiday get-togethers merry and bright. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild.
Duck Defense Midwest makes your home healthier and improves the life of your HVAC system. So improve the health of your home and everyone in it. Go to cleanairradio.com for a special duct cleaning offer for Zone listeners. That's cleanairradio.com.
Listen to the Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay shoot-around and overtime shows. The Creighton men's basketball pregame and postgame shows on 1620 The Zone. The Woodhouse Auto Family Blue Jay shoot-around and overtime shows are also presented by Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and more, by Barry Law, by Union Bank and Trust, and by DJ's Dugout, before and after each Creighton game, exclusively on your home for the Creighton Blue Jays. 1620 The Zone, 1620 The Zone mobile app, and 1620thezone.com.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Mike Capel here, serial entrepreneur. Here's what our payroll customer, Laura, thinks about us.
Patriot Software and their amazing team are a crucial part of our business. They handle the details of payroll and tax payments, so we can focus on delivering exceptional customer service to our own clients. Patriot's payroll is affordable, easy to use, and it keeps us organized. They're receptive to their customers and strive to demonstrate that each day. Without a doubt, We will be using their payroll services for many years to come. Thank you, Patriot Software. 5 stars.
Go to patriotsoftware.com to get your payroll pricing for up to 100 employees. Use promo code RADIO and get 2 months of payroll processing free. That's patriotsoftware.com.
patriotsoftware.com. Accounting and payroll. Keep your time and money.
Are you going to tell me that there are 3 cheeseburgers takeout joints in the metro? Yeah, Burrs. 3. 40th and Farnham in the Blackstone District, 168th in Harrison and Millard, and inside the Blue Sky Patio and Pickleball Complex at 107th and Pacific Street. And every single cheeseburgers brings smash burgers, hot dogs, fries, shakes, and more to all of the hungry people of the ONE. It's a thing of beauty. Cheeseburgers, a takeout joint. Keep on trucking, people.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Creighton men's soccer is College Cup bound for the first time since 2012. The Blue Jays take on Syracuse in the semifinal round today, and kickoff from Cary, North Carolina is set for 5 p.m. on ESPNU. That's today, 5 p.m. on ESPNU.
This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson.
And you don't even have to use your fingers.
The 1620, The Zone.
And I can just tell you this, that I want to build a team that's tough.
I just want you to know. Okay.
This is going to be hard.
Not to compete, but to win.
And it's not really just about me. It's really about all of us because we have to be all in.
Not to show up, but to show out.
And that plan involves working harder than the next man.
Not to be amongst the rest, but to be the best.
We want to have fast players, explosive players. We want to have speed. We want to have great quarterback play.
We got a few positions already taken care of because I'm bringing my luggage with me.
The passion for young people was reborn inside of me.
So I want y'all to get ready. Go ahead and jump in the water.
Countdown to September 9th. We're at 274 days before Coach Rule meets Coach Prime
and it's
for the
Louis.
first time. That's right. Coach Rule and his 335 versus Coach Prime and his luggage named Louis.
He's got Louis. Louis. Oh, we got to go.
We got a lot of things to update here. First off, this weekend's a big weekend for Matt Rule because there are several visitors, at least 12 confirmed official visitors this weekend, including a guy out of the transfer portal. He's a defensive lineman by the name of Elijah Judy from Texas A&M. He's trying to get away from Jimbo's circus.
Yeah, it sucks down there.
And join Matt Rule or Coach Prime. That's right, because Judy also plans a visit to Colorado. So here's where the battle begins.
Oh, baby, 274 days out.
It begins with Elijah Judy. But it continues right here because Coach Prime has brought the war to our home front. Literally blocks away from Memorial Stadium.
Blocks.
Where just yesterday, new Colorado assistant coach Tim Brewster. I always say
Punky?
Brewington.
I thought you were going to say Beckman.
I thought Beckman too. Tim Brewster was in the home of one Malachi Coleman.
I saw the selfie.
I also saw the selfie.
Oh, there was a selfie.
Yep, they took a picture.
There was a selfie.
Getting schmoozed.
Did you see this? Did you hear about this?
Tell me more.
George Kliavkoff is the commish of the Pac-12.
I did see this. I know where you're going with this story.
And
begun the CU wars.
He said, we knew some other information was coming, including the announcement of Coach Prime. Why would we want to do a media deal before that? Coach Prime, absolutely adds value to the league.
So what he is saying is that he is a huge TV ratings guy.
Big TV ratings guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he expects Coach Prime to deliver some big TV ratings for Colorado and the Pac-12, thus making their media deal more valuable.
You've triggered Nebraska Ball Mike again. He tweets in, why are you guys trying to time travel and watch Nebraska get killed? #lame segment.
This is a weird Civil War thing between the basketball and football program.
No, it's not that, Nick. It's just an odd bit from Mike. But he's worried that Nebraska's going to lose, and he doesn't like us talking about this game. I don't understand. They were the worst Power 5 team in college football.
They were terrible.
They won one game.
They won one game.
They were 1-11.
Who's just
1-11?
How do we know that Prime's baggage isn't going to get stuck in customs?
Oh,
how do we know? How do we know that the inspection process isn't going to go well, or maybe it gets lost? Maybe the baggage gets lost.
Yeah, maybe it stays. Maybe the baggage just stays.
Or maybe when he opens his Louis, he finds out that the baggage inside got damaged because it was mishandled at the airport.
Or have you ever ordered something and you're like, oh, I think it's that brand, and you get it, it's like an off-brand? I bought Ray-Ban sunglasses when I was a younger man. I was like, oh, these are $15. This has to be a great deal.
They were Roy-Bons.
I got them. They were basically Roy-Bons, Nick.
Roy-Bons.
I wanted Ray-Bans, not Roy-Bons. So maybe he thinks he's getting Louis and he's getting Lewis. Damn it,
Lewis.
Not Lewis. I wanted Louis.
Well, I told you, Husker fan, that Colorado might be serious this time when it comes to keeping you out.
He
on
took
September the 9th.
It out. That's what they're trying to do?
No, they're trying to keep Nebraska fans out. According to a source, this is from a Twitter handle at CU Buffs Stats. Says, according to a source, CU Buffs have received almost $500,000 in non-refundable new season ticket deposits over the last few days. Some of you might say, oh, yeah, but some of that $500,000 in non-refundable new season ticket holders might have Nebraska addresses.
Okay.
Because that's what Nebraskans did 4 years ago. They bought Colorado season tickets just so they could have the Nebraska game. They dumped the other 5 or 6 games, however many were left on the package, because it was worth it to them just to have the tickets to the Nebraska game. Well, according to CU Buffs Stats, also, for those of you wondering about Huskers buying season tickets, it's been confirmed deposits are non-refundable, and priority will be given to those with Colorado billing addresses. If you have a Nebraska address, thanks for your deposit because you aren't getting tickets.
Well, I had someone just send me another tweet, quote tweeting this, and it wasn't Sean Callahan. This is from the Redcast Rob. So Redcast Rob says,
the Redcast Rob.
So people are just arguing and yelling. He says, this is a lie. Just got off the phone with their ticketing offices. They're not even close to selling out their season ticket packages or to taking their minimum number of deposits. And your deposit can be used for a single ticket purchase if it comes to that #GBR. So Rob says, you lying, Stats. We fine.
Well,
we're going to fill up your stadium.
There's some psyops.
Stats isn't claiming that they're almost sold out. He's just saying that the team has received almost $500,000 in new non-refundable season ticket package.
Non-fungible.
Non-fungible tokens.
By the way, as part of this segment, this is an educational segment for all of you. I'm doing the lookout for you. You are welcome.
274 days away.
274 days away. I'm looking up some hotel rooms right now.
Oh yeah, because we'll need one.
There's still a couple.
No.
There's still
I like football now.
There's still, according to Expedia.com, at the Hyatt House Boulder, you can get 2 nights for $451
total.
Yeah, total.
That's actually
really good.
Yeah, that's actually a really good deal.
The Hampton Inn and Suites in Boulder, $571 for 2 nights.
Again, these are not anywhere near as bad as I was expecting.
These are
the
fine.
Boulder Twin Lakes Inn, $447 for 2 nights. Now, if you really want to go highfalutin, the Residence Inn by Marriott Boulder Canyon Boulevard has rooms for $2,000 for 2 nights.
There's a lot of woods over there. You could probably just get
Is
a
that
tent,
like the
right?
White Lotus or those nice rooms?
Something like that. You can get the Homewood Suites by Hilton, Broomfield Boulder, at $178 a night.
Nice. Wow. These are all solid prices.
These are solid prices. I'm looking out for you. This is an educational segment. We're telling you how many days we have left.
And we're going to clip this and send this upstairs, Nick, is what we're going to do.
Yep.
As a reminder. Matt says, remember when the Rams refused the sale of tickets to anyone with the San Francisco address for the NFC Championship game? Colorado should take notes from them.
Yes,
sell to the,
Colorado should take notes
and then
from the
lose,
Rams
and
because
then lose.
The Rams won.
People
the game.
forget. A couple
Doesn't matter how many fans you have in the stands. It matters how many points you have at the end of the game, which also happened last night.
A couple of tweets on the JTech Instructions on Twitter feed. Nick, first of all, not Grim, says, I'm bringing my luggage the next, they're going to adapt to us. Hashtag Prime is the next Scafra. What if we throw that back in his face?
That will definitely be.
I'm bringing my luggage, it's Louis.
Oh, there's a lot of stuff you could take from that 10 minutes he spent with the team.
Nick, that needs to be added to John's Open. We can come back with Louis every time we do this segment.
Oh, okay.
And then Dan says maybe the Pac-12 will strike a new deal with Amazon Prime. Get that garbage league off TV anyway. Whoa, Dan, I like the Pac-12. It's a great conference.
How are you not going to want to watch Coach Prime?
Yeah, seriously.
You're going to want to watch Coach
the
Prime.
TV ratings, guys. I can't wait to talk about how many people watch Coach Prime.
You're going to want to watch Coach Prime.
I saw Mitch Sherman. He got a question.
He's got a scout, by the way.
Who do they play? Is it Colorado State?
They're at TCU.
Oh, wow.
Ribbit.
Wow.
They're at TCU in week 1.
Wow, that'll be tough.
So everyone said, for Nebraska, we got to go to Minnesota. Well, they got to go to a playoff team. No, Max won't be there anymore. Right? Max is done after this year, right? That's too
done. Yeah, Duggan is a senior.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
Well, you can never tell these days. I mean, you can be a senior and still have 5 years of eligibility.
Hey, I have COVID.
Because the NCAA
Oh, here's an extra 8 years. Congratulations.
Yeah, we're just going to hand out eligibility as long as we can.
Bree says, what? Go to the Harvest House Direct website and they say sold out. Go to Hotwire and the prices for other hotels are through the roof. Are you sure you're on the right
I'm
date?
on Expedia. I went to Expedia. Go to Expedia.com and check. I mean,
you did look at the right date, right?
It should be, yeah. Unless they change the result, the search results on me.
I was going to say those were not that expensive.
No, they weren't. But
They seemed weirdly cheap. I figured the prices
John
would inflate the
screw
closer it got.
All right, let's go to. I'll try this on my computer real fast too before we go to break. It's the second weekend of the season, so I'll go Friday night. I'll leave Sunday morning.
Second week of the season.
All right, I'm going to search.
Yeah, it's
One
right
room,
here.
2 travelers.
September the 8th to September the 10th. Checking in on the 8th, checking out on the 10th.
Yeah, there you go. Here,
The
I'll send
Colorado
this to Bree.
Chautauqua, $262 a night.
Yep, there you go. Bree.
The Hyatt House Boulder, $205 a night. Again, this is what's on. I'm on the Expedia right now.
Zach says people should stay in Longmont. A couple of times I've done the Ironman in Boulder. Whoa, that's the thing where running is involved, Nick. I just stay in Longmont because it's cheaper and it's only like 10 minutes drive to Boulder. We were in Boulder proper when we went there.
Golden's not too far from Boulder.
Yeah, right
either.
now.
Yeah, Golden is outside of Denver.
And these are the nice rooms. They got the little kitchenette and
I
everything.
have family who lives in Golden.
It says we have
At
3
Buffalo
left.
there
I'm going
once.
to click on
In
reserve.
Buffalo?
Yeah, there was a restaurant that Bison had an old fashioned there. It was nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Old fashions.
Yeah, that's right there. Go to Expedia.com. It's right there.
Nice.
I'm not trying to steer you the wrong way, Husker fan. But if you were smart, you'd be doing this right now because we're only 274 days
right
away.
Prices usually go up.
Travis says, I have a buddy who lives in Boulder, so no worrying about hotel costs. Just have to decide if I can accept his trash talk since he's a CU fan. Travis, have no fear, man. Go there. Nebraska will win, and you can talk the trash to him.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And if he talks trash to you, well, you're still in Colorado.
There you go.
Hard to be mad there.
Yeah, it's a great time.
It's hard to be mad in Colorado.
Why is it hard to be mad in Colorado?
We have mountains in Nebraska?
Yeah, it's gorgeous outside.
It's
John,
beautiful.
look outside. You're like, oh my gosh, it's beautiful outside.
Have you been to Boulder? I love Boulder.
Ask the people. Yes, I have been to Boulder.
Trees everywhere. There's just streams.
See, I guess you're describing things John hates.
No,
Oh.
I'm not hating on any of
Fun
this.
and beauty.
Green.
Ask the people who have had urine bombs thrown at them in Colorado.
I have never had a urine bomb thrown at me.
First
in my
time for
experience
everything,
in
Nick.
Colorado.
That's right.
First time for everything.
Come for the football, stay for the urine bomb.
John, you know, how would we get to Boulder, do you think, if we were going to drive there?
Probably jump in a brand new truck or SUV from Woodhouse Ford in Omaha, Blair, or Plattsmouth. You know, you can shop with confidence at Woodhouse and experience the Woodhouse difference. They're here to streamline the car buying experience, make it easy for you at woodhouseford.com. Yeah, you can shop any of their Woodhouse locations, Omaha, Blair, or Plattsmouth, all from one site. You can even complete the credit application online. And now with the new chat feature, you can talk with one of their expert and very friendly sales staff so you can get the answers to the questions you need answered. All at woodhouse.com. They want to provide you a quick, efficient, and pleasant purchasing experience. So visit them in store, Omaha, Blair, Plattsmouth, or online at woodhouse.com and experience the Woodhouse difference. Woodhouse Ford, showrooms in Omaha, Blair, Plattsmouth, or online at woodhouse.com. Experience the difference at Woodhouse Ford and shop with confidence at Woodhouse Ford, built Ford proud.
Kevin Harlan here from Monday Night Football on Westwood One. Coming up in the primetime spotlight, Mac Jones and the New England Patriots travel to the desert to face Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. Arizona looking for a resurgent end to the season, while the Pats are trying to stay afloat in the playoff race. Join Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner and me for all the action on Monday Night Football.
If it's the NFL, it's on 1180 The Zone.
Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill has been making your game day experience one to remember for 18 years with our award-winning char-buffed wings and $7.99 Monday through Friday lunch specials. But now your game day just got bigger and better with Oscar's newly upgraded audio-video system. Cheer on your favorite teams this season in front of a 22-foot LED video wall, showing up to 8 games at once, and of course, 40 TVs and massive dual projectors. Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill, 173rd and West Center Road, and for takeout at 162nd and Maple.
The holidays are here. This holiday season, we encourage you to come support our local stores in Omaha. And Westwood Plaza has everything you need to find that perfect gift. Do you have a sewer in your life? Then So Creative has the perfect holiday gift. So Creative offers a wide range of sewing machines, embroidery machines, fabric, and everything needed to get the next project started. They offer classes for all skill levels, from an absolute beginner to an advanced sewist. Come and get your holiday gifts taken care of at So Creative on 125th and Center inside Westwood Plaza. Do you have someone in your life that could use some pampering for the holidays? Then head to Love is in the Hair, 125th and Center inside Westwood Plaza. Love is in the Hair is committed to providing the best experience to every client that walks through the door and helping every individual feel their absolute best. Over 25 years of experience in hair for the entire family, whether it's highlight, color, cuts, or waxing. Everything you need to shop locally for the holidays is at Westwood Plaza in Omaha.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call on the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Welcome to OmahaWeekendDeals.com, where we bring you deals to some of your favorite restaurants and events every weekend. This weekend's deal is to Control Coffee and Cereal Bar. Control is a casual place to explore new tastes, meet friends, and have business chats while enjoying your favorite brew, drinks, and of course, cereal. Control has over 30 cereals to choose from, and Control even provides the fun with retro games. Stop by today at 1016 South 10th Street in Omaha. Head to OmahaWeekendDeals.com now to get yours.
Since this is a radio commercial, you can't see the people standing behind me. They're the Langfeld family. Everybody wave. Oh, sorry. You can't see them because Radio. Anyway, the Langfelds are the family behind Langfeld Overhead Door, where they proudly install Midland garage doors to fit any space and style, and they don't take a backseat to anyone when it comes to their service. Because if something goes wrong, it's their name on the line. So they're going to make sure it goes right every single time. Langfeld Overhead Door, 402-234-2700.
Welcome to the After Hours Lounge on 1620 The Zone.
He looked like he was running in slow motion during that open field run.
He's a strider.
So would that equate to him being a slightly more athletic Ben Roethlisberger? What's happening with him running the ball?
Because they're taking the DBs and secondary downfield.
Catch After Hours 6 to 8 Monday through Friday, or as the sports schedule allows. Brought to you by Iowa Western Community College and Payne West on 1620 The Zone.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
A reminder that this is One Beer Friday, presented by the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild. And next week's going to be a little different. Different, as some people might say. Because we're actually going to take One Beer Friday on the road on a Wednesday.
What? One Beer Friday, Wednesday edition.
Yeah, we're going out to La Vista, the La Vista location for Cross Strain.
Ooh.
Next Wednesday during the program. So if you're out there in the neighborhood, 10411 Portal Road.
Right off the interstate.
Right off the interstate, 2 to 6. We'll be there next Wednesday at Cross Strain, another great Nebraska brewer. Brought to you also in part by the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild. And today's featured brewer is the Bearded Brewer.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to try a cream ale that has peanut butter and marshmallow notes in it. I understand.
Excited.
Awesome.
This could be very interesting.
I like peanut butter.
And if you tweet at us with the hashtag One Beer Friday, you could win a $25 gift card to the Bearded Brewer.
That's right. So make sure you use the hashtag One Beer Friday and tweet at us what you're enjoying this weekend. Kent's Movie Club coming up in just a few minutes as we review the Bad News Bears.
Mm-hmm.
See where Fred Hoiberg's going to buy pizza for the students tomorrow?
I did. It made me really sad when I saw that he's getting it from Val's, though.
Well, I mean, they're a Val's team.
I mean, I know
They're-
beggars
they're-
can't be choosers, and you're
they're
a
a
college
Val's
kid. You don't
program.
have a whole lot of money,
That's
but
what they do.
yeah, I mean, you might
Well,
as
if
well
you don't
use
have
it
a lot
as
of money,
toilet paper.
I don't know if you know this. Val's is kind of on the pricier side of the pizza world.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, so Fred ain't going cheap.
On the not good side.
Fred's not going
Pizza
cheaper. You ever
world.
notice, though? I mean, that's the popular thing. The basketball coaches, they buy the student section either donuts or pizza. Why don't they ever think about, something that
burgers?
Well, not burgers.
Fried
but
chicken.
Maybe something like chicken and waffles
Oh, that'd be fun.
or pancakes.
Fun. I mean, when you have to have a plate, though, like that's the thing that's
Well,
good
that'd be
about
the, that's the
pizza.
fun part.
But if
is
you were like
everyone's
having
got
a
plate
saw,
and then-
cut it with a knife. If you're having
Bones. Maybe like some pork chops,
ribs,
some pork chops, and scalloped potatoes.
I'm buying. That would be quite the meal.
That basketball coach, you want to make a real splash? Get your student section a real meal. Don't get them the fast food stuff. Get them some pork chops,
like a Christmas dinner, a Christmas feast.
Well, if you wanted to be portable
and
back
scalloped
home,
potatoes.
For football games, they would do pork chops on a stick.
Pork chops on a stick. Why
well,
not?
we don't want to be functional. We want this to be, a formal
Oh,
sit-down
okay.
thing.
My
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
So full on silverware in China.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that idea. Don't break it though.
Yes.
You're gonna get in trouble if you break it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then when the ref makes a bad call, you can throw your plates on the floor.
Oh, that's a great idea. Oh no, the ref has mashed potatoes on his face. It'd be a great time. Be a great time.
And Creighton's got a game this weekend against BYU. We'll have coverage tomorrow at 9. Well, actually, it starts with Ravi at 7.
7.
Well, it's in Las
Gosh,
Vegas.
you are gonna be
Little less
here
conversation.
late
It's
tomorrow.
gonna be late tomorrow.
Ooh, wow.
And then they play again on Monday against Arizona State.
What time is that game?
That one's at 8.
So what are you gonna do after the show?
Just gonna hang out.
You gonna go get Popeyes? A delicious meal?
You're gonna get Val's?
I don't have enough time for Popeyes.
Oh, I see what you did there.
I don't
You're
have
gonna
time.
get some curly fries next door.
I'll probably go next.
Oh, that's a
door.
great idea. Good
I'll
luck.
go next door and get a sandwich and some curlies.
Jordan says, let's put the Roncalli concession stand in charge. Now that would be a
That's
meal
an idea.
for the students.
They really should just outsource their concession stand to other places.
That would be a meal.
They probably should. They really should.
Hmm.
And later today, starting here in about an hour and 20 minutes, Creighton in the College Cup against Syracuse in the
Yes, at
Final
5.
Four.
Syracuse, What kind of defense will they run without Tony White? They can't do the 3-3-5
They can't do the 3-3-5 anymore.
Take that, Syracuse.
Oh, they're screwed.
Yeah, they are.
There's no excuse for them.
Okay, Nick, you did.
That was.
Yeah, I could have workshopped it a little.
Way.
Money Chris says it's the PBA. Buy the students beer. If you want a mass turnout, free beer.
PBR at the PBA.
You could.
There you go. You got to show your ID. That's not a bad idea.
You
It's
could.
not a bad idea.
Josh,
here
of course,
we go.
huge TV ratings guy.
Here we go, you nerd.
But so the top 10 most watched games this year, led by Michigan, Ohio State, 17 million viewers. Tennessee, Georgia, 13 million. Alabama, Tennessee, 11.5. But you notice something about this list?
It's a lot of Big Ten and SEC games.
Every game except one.
Wow, Kansas State, TCU from last week.
Every game except one featured at least a Big Ten or SEC team or both.
Yeah, top one, Big Ten on Big Ten. Next one, SEC. Third one, SEC. Fourth one, SEC. Fifth one, Big Ten. And then finally, sixth one is Bama versus Texas.
But you still have an SEC team involved.
Yeah, and a future SEC
technically
team.
too.
And then the next one is Notre Dame, Ohio State. So Big Ten independent. Wow.
And then the graphic on the right, if you're watching along, these are the most watched teams this year in college football. And look at how far and away. Now, a lot of this is driven by the fact that Michigan, Ohio State drew 17 million viewers. But Ohio State and Michigan had a cumulative 70 million viewers when you combine the stats of all of their games. Alabama, 62, Georgia, 53, Tennessee, 50. Nebraska's season total was 23.7 million viewers. Most watched game this year was the Northwestern game.
Good. Well, I mean, it was all by itself, basically.
It was all by itself, but yeah. And the season average for Nebraska this year was just a smidge under 2 million viewers per game.
Okay.
Was Nebraska's total. So I know Josh loves that because he's a big TV
That was
ratings
so
fan.
informative.
It is informative. This is what drives conference alignment right here.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, notice all of the teams.
It does.
All of the teams in the top 10 or top 11, except for Clemson, are all SEC, and TCU. SEC and Big Ten. They rule the world. Coming up next, we're going into the movie club.
Nice.
Where Kent Wolgamont will help us review The Bad News Bears. Next on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center. Heads up, a crash is causing delays on 10th between Center and Pacific at Pierce Street. Also got a wreck on eastbound I-80 at 96th, causing delays through there. If you're west on L Street, you're going to see delays between Center and 156th. Then also some delays on westbound Dodge between 74th and 90th. I'm Mike Neville. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by the Nebraska Lottery.
Through January 4th, 2023, enter non-winning Nebraska Lottery Holiday Wishes scratch tickets for a chance to win $1, $5, or $10,000. It's the Holiday Wishes Second Chance promotion, so enter today. Top prize odds vary by game.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
It's time to save during 42 Degrees Winter Sale with savings on premium kratom starting at $11.99, Delta from $7.99, and CBD starting at $9.99. Only at The Source, 42 Degrees, by your mom's house.
It hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, I never smoked a cigarette. How in the hell did I get lung cancer?
I don't smoke. I've never smoked. So I started Googling. One word just kept coming up, like it was in bold and red, and it was radon.
Radon is the number 2 cause of lung cancer.
Well, you don't know if it's in your home. You got to test. You can't see it. You can't taste it. You can't smell it.
What's your level? Radon Defense Midwest can help. Visit radonradio.com for a special offer. That's radonradio.com.
Hey, everybody, it's Gary Sharp. Join me for We Got a Podcast driven by Woodhouse Auto Family. We get more in depth, have a guest or two, and drop nuggets of info you haven't heard anywhere else. Join us for We Got a Podcast driven by Woodhouse Auto Family every Friday in the show page on 1620thezone.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Start your engines.
Joe's Indoor Karting in Council Bluffs is off the charts crazy. Joe's Karting is fast-paced, adrenaline-pumping, wheel-to-wheel racing action at over 40 miles per hour. The only speed restriction on these karts is how good you are. Joe's Karting is located just a couple of blocks north of Bass Pro Shop and directly east of AMC Theater in Council Bluffs, Iowa. Go watch a movie. Come race at Joe's. Planning a bachelor party, graduation party, or just a night out with friends? Go to Joe's. Remember, Joe's Karting is your place to race.
Last year, I enrolled my family for health care coverage through the health insurance marketplace. Do I need to enroll again?
Yes, we have seen the plans available through the marketplace change, and new options may be available. You must re-enroll for 2023 to ensure you or your family are in the right plan for your budget and needs. One World Community Health Centers member.
I don't have health coverage, and I'm worried that if I get sick, I can't afford the medical bills. How do I get started?
Getting started is easy and free. Just call to set up an appointment with a Navigator enrollment specialist. We will explain your coverage options, answer any questions, help you enroll, and see if you qualify for financial assistance. Open enrollment is November 1st through January 15th. Re-enroll in healthcare coverage or enroll for the first time. Call One World Community Health Centers at 402-502-8888 to set up an appointment.
News Talk 1290 is the new home for Omaha Maverick women's basketball all season long. Don't miss any of the Maverick action as they try to make their mark on the Summit League this season. Omaha Mavericks women's basketball is on News Talk 1290.
Husker coverage on 1620 The Zone is presented by Tickets for Less. Tickets for Less is your local source for Nebraska football tickets. Compare and save today at ticketsforless.com. All the Nebraska football news, stories, experts, and coverage you need is on 1620 The Zone. Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
Friday, the final day of the week. These are the voyages of the program Unsportsmanlike Conduct. Its ongoing mission to explore strange new movies, to seek out new bits and new edifications, to boldly go where no radio program has gone before. Elkins Movie Club. It's Elkins Movie Club. Elkins Movie Club. It's Elkins Movie Club.
Right, so I did not know.
People forget.
Sadly, Kent is a Raiders fan. Did you watch that last night?
Oh,
sadly, yes.
Oh, poor Kent.
Yeah, it was. I can imagine how painful it was because, I mean, the Raiders dominated that game. Just dominated.
Yeah, and Kent, think about me. I had the Raiders minus 5.5 and a pick 'em, so that was brutal. That was brutal.
It was brutal. I'm not exactly thrilled with Mr. McDaniels.
Ooh, yeah, he's struggling right now.
Is it me or is it every time they show him on the sidelines, he's got that look on his face like he is trying to grunt out a biscuit?
Yes,
absolutely.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, he was a garbage coach at Denver, so why don't you hire another garbage coach? Nice job. These other teams hire, you know, McDonald and, you know, these guys that go on and turn
Mhm.
teams around, and
Mhm.
the worst
Mhm.
owner in sports hires a terrible coach, and they regress.
Yeah.
It's for Husker fans, your 20 years of frustration. Raider fan has the same thing. The last time we went to the Super Bowl, the coach was
Bill
Callahan.
Thank you.
Oh man.
Well, if you were watching this game side by side with our movie,
Yeah, which is what I was doing at the very
It
end.
may have actually matched up a little bit.
Uh-huh.
You know, a little Bad News Bears action.
Bad
but
News Raiders.
The original Bad News Bears with Walter Matthau.
I was going to say, if any of you guys watch that Billy Bob Thornton one, you have my sympathy. It's awful.
Is it? I haven't seen.
I saw it in the theater.
Awful.
Pretty bad.
Yeah,
Nick, have you seen it?
I've seen parts of it on Comedy Central,
Mm.
but I've never watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
It tried way too hard.
Yeah.
It tried way too hard. It just wasn't. I mean, it's basically what the Longest Yard remake was to the
But the
original
Longest Yard
one.
remake was funny.
Oh, you might like the new Bad News Bears then.
Bad News Bears. I mean, what? It's about a ragtag group of kids playing baseball. Over the course, a couple of new additions to the team. One a girl, one Kelly Lake. They compete. They go up against the big bad team of their little league. Is this the first movie, Kent, to do this type of story? Was this the first one that was like kind of hitting all of the familiar beats that we have come to know and love over the last however many years?
Well, if it wasn't the absolute first one, it was certainly the first one that ever got any attention. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
And if you watching it, you would never be able. Yeah, it hits the familiar beats, but the beats they hit back then are a lot harder than the ones that you could get away with today. Can you imagine trying to make this movie today?
No.
Well, they tried.
They tried.
Yeah.
They did try. It didn't work out particularly well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're right. It would have been very difficult.
I mean, that thing was PG-13 rated. Can you imagine?
Yeah, it's funny too, Kent, because I imagine for those who maybe have just seen it for the first time or have seen it and maybe it's even been a few years, they're probably thinking of like the language the kids use. The thing, but that's not where I would go with it. I would go to like the manager being an alcoholic who openly drinks all the time. I think that is odd. Like as kids, we say really dumb things that we regret. But both managers really at the end of the movie, he walks on the field, and he hits his son. I feel like that's the type of stuff that we wouldn't see in a movie today.
And the other stuff is the Kelly Lake, the Jackie Lee Haley character, smoking and riding a motorcycle and all of that. And he's supposed to be 14?
I
think 12 actually.
He looked very young.
Yeah, I think they're all 12-year-olds.
Like
this.
9, I think 9, 12.
No,
Are they all 12?
I think they're all supposed to be 12 or
Okay.
something like that.
John, you were what, 5 when this came out?
Yeah, I didn't see it until many,
So when you saw, I have to imagine that for you, like Kelly Leak, was he like the kid everyone wanted to be?
Like, oh, he's a cool kid.
Well,
because that
yes and no, because
I'd heard of Kelly Leak. That wasn't really what I expected from that character.
He was the
Going to
quote
Rolling
best
Stones
athlete, but he was the non-typical best athlete.
Yeah.
Usually the stereotypical jock is the straight-laced guy who, gets all the girls and, behaves himself, but, thinks highly of himself on the field. As Kent pointed out, he was more of a delinquent. I mean, he was a smoker, he was a loner, he was rode his motorcycle
onto the field
and then hustled people for money at the arcade.
Adults for money. He was hustling adults.
Exactly. So it was very different how this character developed.
But that character is another of the 70s kind of characters, even in sports movies. If you look, this director, Michael Ritchie, who's made a whole bunch of sports movies and some pretty good ones. One of the movies he made right after this was Semi-Tough, which is an adaptation of the Dan Jenkins book. And the character Christopherson plays in that is the same kind of character. And then after that was North Dallas 40.
Oh,
in
yeah.
which Nick Nolte is Nick Nolte's that guy grown up, right? I mean, there's a whole string of those kind of characters. that were of that 70s anti-hero, but kind of heroic anyway character.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of anti-heroes in this. I mean, you root for the bad news bears. I mean, they are ragtag. They are rough around the edges.
They're bad news.
And quite frankly, they stink. And the only reason they get as
they
far
get
as
two
they
good
do
players.
is
They get
because
carried.
They get Tatum O'Neal, the good pitcher, and they get Kelly Leak, who does everything offensively for
A
them.
good pitcher that cheats.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because she throws the spitball.
That's what it's all, that subversive kind of thing that I don't know. By now it's become a trope, right? It's become
yeah.
But back then it was like fresh. It is exactly kind of getting to what you were saying there, Josh.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and I thought it was fine. I was trying to figure out after I finished it if that was why I didn't maybe like it as much. Like I imagine you adore this movie.
Yeah, I love it.
It's obviously not fresh, which I knew going in, but I guess there was a part near the end with Buttermaker, who was the coach, where he was basically a jerk the whole movie, and then suddenly he just kind of turned and suddenly was nice. And I was like, where did this come? Like, I knew it kind of had to happen. I figured it was going to happen, that there would be the turn. I just didn't know what was sounds like such a dorky question to ask about a movie called The Bad News Bears, but what was the character's motivation?
Right.
Because I felt like I missed something.
The whole pacing of the movie seemed weird.
He was a jerk and then he wasn't.
Yeah.
What did I miss?
But
he cried that one time.
Well,
after he threw beer on that.
Remember
girl.
in the final game, after the Vic Morrow character who plays the Yankees manager hits his son, and Buttermaker sees that he's going to the extremes because the two managers have this rivalry from the very beginning of the movie.
Sure.
And Buttermaker is seeing himself, coming out, or seeing the other manager come out in himself and realizing, hey, I'm doing this wrong. That's the moment where it flips for him.
Okay, I guess I just maybe needed a bit more of a close up on his face or something in that moment.
It never really clicked for me that I really was starting to warm up to the kids up until that moment.
Yeah, there were no signs of it along the way.
Like I said, 2 minutes before that, he just threw beer all over Amanda.
Well, but that was funny.
And like I say, can you imagine that today?
No.
And frankly, something like that probably could have happened in real life in the 70s.
I was going to ask you guys that. Did you have managers or coaches in sports? I'm guessing all of it. Nick has told his story. One of his coaches threw a football at his face. I think we've all had coaches maybe grab us or, get a little physical at times. Did you guys ever have coaches that were maybe this extreme, though, as either of those two guys were?
Well, no, I never had an alcoholic coach.
Yeah, drinking beer and falling asleep, passing out on the diamond.
Well,
we had to run
if you think about it, a lot of there's still coaches today who are extreme in the sense where they
oh, for sure.
It may not be physical. It may not come out physically, but it comes out verbally
abuse,
or emotionally. Yeah. Where there's
I got carried by the neck across a court in practice one time. Coach, when I was like a sixth grader, grabbed me by the back of the neck and carried me over to where I was supposed to be.
Look at Bob Knight.
No, yeah, that's why I meant less physical and more.
Basically, the Vic Morrow character is Bobby Knight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had alcoholic. You want me to name names? I can name you.
Exactly. There's a lot of them out there. Yeah, it's definitely a snapshot in the moment of when this movie was made, the mid to late 70s.
Mm-hmm.
That's
what I was asking, if you guys ever had a coach like that.
And that's another reason. Could you imagine this today? Coach yells like that at 12-year-olds. Mom, dad, and everybody's going to be all over him. The kids are going to be crying, blah, blah, blah. It just wouldn't happen. And I guess that's why I kind of feel like it's a really, sometimes we talk about these movies that transcend their time.
Mm-hmm.
This is really a movie of its time.
Definitely. Definitely.
Now, at the same time, it does transcend in that one of the heroes in the movie is a girl playing on a boys' baseball team, which for then is very radical.
Yeah, and even now, if you would just,
I kind of like the way they handled
And
that.
I remember watching it for the first time. Growing up, boys did not play with girls, right? I mean, you didn't have girls on boys.
No, they
teams.
got cooties.
You didn't have girls' sports.
You didn't have, girls' sports
And
was
when
hardly
when I was in high school in the 70s, there were no girls' sports. Period.
Yeah.
There was none of it. So while yes, this was a movie of its time, also utilizing a female character as one of the central figures on a boys' baseball team is rather progressive for its time.
Do you think?
And it was kind of influential in a way.
Do you think they did that more for comedic effect than anything, since it was supposed to be a comedy movie, or do you think
I
it
don't
was
know. What do you think, Ken? I don't know.
I'm not going to try to tell you that this was some sort of feminist picture, okay?
Right. Yeah. No.
But I think it was done for it. Also, if you look at where it fits in the story, it also makes Buttermaker a little more human, right? Because he was and he taught this girl how to play and yada yada yada, which gives it a little different take, right? And I think that's where it worked into this script, because this is really I thought it's not as funny as people want to think. It's not a laugh every 5 minutes comedy, but it carries some things over, like what we're talking about, and the performances by Mathau and Tatum O'Neal, who, by the way, had just won the Oscar 2 years previously, really carry this picture, and Jackie Lee Haley as well, to make it kind of a really well done movie about the competition, right? And about teams and that in that sense does carry forward, right? But the details are of such of the time that it becomes trapped there. And specifically to the thing about the girl, I'm also thinking they thought, yeah, this is something that has never been done before, which is going to be, you want to catch in that way. And Ritchie was really good director of these kind of movies, and that's something that he would have brought. He did Downhill Racer with Robert Redford, the skiing movie. He did Smile, which was a beauty pageant movie before this, but it's still a competition movie. But he went on and did movies like The Scout with
the Brendan Fraser movie
and Albert Brooks.
Yeah.
I can't. He
did
Fletch. He did both of the Fletch movies. I mean, he's made these sports-oriented kind of movies that have had some. Yeah, they've generally been comedies, but they've had some edge to them and some forward thinking aspect in them too.
You know what, too, Kent? Often whenever we review movies, whether it's new ones or old ones with you, we'll talk about the length of the movie. This one, under 2 hours. But I just realized there's not really like a love story plot. So you don't have to have, this movie doesn't have a lot of like side crap that just needs to kind of get cut out, which is nice. It's about, it's about the baseball team.
And 90% of it takes place on the baseball field.
Yep.
Right. Or in the surrounding that, which is another thing that you don't really see.
It's a very tight movie in that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it is. It's interesting because the one thing I wanted to look up was because anytime you have an ensemble of a lot of kids, you wonder whatever happened to the actors. Now, of course, Tatum O'Neal, she goes on to marry, John McEnroe, and she comes from movie royalty anyway. Jackie Earle Haley, who, I mean, in a way, he's kind of like a poor man's Sean Penn. Sean Penn goes from playing Spicoli to winning Academy Awards for very serious roles. Jackie Earle Haley goes on to he's in several different movies, including he was Best Supporting Actor nominated for Little Children,
in which he played a child molester.
Yeah.
And he was really good.
And I'm trying to remember, what role did he have in Lincoln? He played one of the Confederates.
Correct.
He played
Alexander
Alexander
Stevens.
Stevens. He was one of the
Yes.
negotiators for the Confederate Army.
Yeah.
And so, he was able to branch out, but none of the other kids in this film, I looked up, all of the other child actors, none of them ever really did anything beyond this.
Which is not unusual.
Right.
Really. I mean, if you look at go and look at Goonies or one of those where there was a bunch of kids, maybe one or two of them, right?
Yep.
Transcended. Like Stand By Me, River Phoenix came out of that. But what happened to those other kids,
Mm-hmm.
And part of it is you got to be good, in an ensemble kids movie like this. You can play your role as the kid who can't catch a fly ball or whatever, but then you try to move down the road and play in something else that you actually have to do a little more than that, and they can't do it. Sandlot kids, I don't know how many of those kids ever went on to do anything.
Yeah, a few of them did some more kids movies that, as they got older,
That's
Ham,
right,
he played in a soccer movie, but for the most part, those kids haven't really done a whole lot.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
This is kind
and
of
at least with this movie, you didn't really have to cast and find good baseball players because outside of two, you just had to find two good baseball players, and that's it.
I could have done this movie.
Yeah, exactly. The poor outfielder throwing the ball and it's going back.
And he throws it over and over.
Oh, jeez.
But part of it is that's how
bully
kids
moron.
uh,
that don't know how to play baseball.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
When he has to try to teach them to kneel down or get down in front of a ground ball.
Yep.
How many times have you seen a little kid just stick their glove down?
Yeah, and it goes right
and
by
a ball goes by.
Uh-huh.
What a play they should have made by getting in front of the ball, right? I mean,
yeah.
it's stuff like that.
When it started, man, I told Riz, I hated baseball practice. Of all the practices that I did for sports, football, basketball, track, whatever it was, baseball is my least favorite. Because if especially when you were younger, because there was a point where they would be working with other positions and you would just kind of stand there and wait until it was, and that's probably why our team sucked because our coach wasn't very good, but brutal. Hot days playing baseball. Bad News Bears.
There it is. Bad News Bears. By the way, on Rotten Tomatoes, 97%.
Wow.
There's a lot. Again,
the remake, right?
97% comes from reviews of the time, and it was very, very well received and a huge hit. It was a huge hit, and it's had enough cultural resonance that they made 2 god-awful sequels. The sequels are unwatchable.
Yeah,
they made that terrible Billy Bob Thornton remake that I actually had to review, and now they're talking about doing a TV series based off of this. Only the manager is a single mom.
John, you've been watching the new
Karate
Kid. Maybe you'll watch the new Bad News Bears TV
Yeah,
show.
but the new Karate Kid stuff's starting to go downhill fast.
Yeah, you're out on it now?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
way too cheesy.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's sometimes you just got to leave these things alone.
Correct.
You just got to leave these things alone.
So that's why Nick next week is choosing the Bad News Bears remake in the movie
how'd
club.
you know?
That would be really funny, Nick.
The Bad News Bears in Breaking Training. That is,
Ugh.
All right, so that's Bad News Bears. It is that and the remake are
If you want to
both on
watch,
HBO Max.
if you want to watch the other one,
I kind of want to watch the remake again today or
Lord.
tonight after I get back.
I wonder
you are
if there's
glutton
a
for
feature
punishment.
where you could watch them both at the same time, do the split screen option. And
throw one on your laptop, Nick, and then on your TV screen.
Oh. No, I was just thinking in the same app. You can choose two at the same time.
There you go. Going side by side.
Picture in picture, Bad News Bears.
All right, Nick. So what are we tackling next week?
Nope. We're going to go to Peacock and we're going to watch Nope.
Oh.
The Jordan Peele movie I haven't gotten a chance to see yet.
Oh. There were lots of trailers for this.
Double thumbs up from Kent.
All right. I saw it twice in theaters.
I haven't seen it yet.
I also haven't seen it yet.
I didn't realize
Kent,
it was out on Peacock.
In the conversation
Only on
about
Peacock.
this movie, I will be very curious to see how John and Nick feel about this.
Yeah, I can see that.
I love to Get Out.
Oh, we're talking another platform again?
right?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I liked it a lot more on the second viewing than I did the first. So you should watch it twice, John, to make sure you like it.
I shouldn't have to watch anything twice to make sure I like it.
I really like Jordan Peele. Get Out is one of my top movies of all time, so I'm excited.
Get Out
to
is
see
awesome.
Nope.
There you go. All right. Just tweet it out.
I will tell you that Nope is making a lot of critics' top 10 list for the year.
Ooh.
Okay.
Well, we'll have more on Nope next week.
Perfect. On Peacock. Just tweeted out the link.
That's coming up in Movie Club. All right, Kent. Well, again, sorry about the I'm really
Yeah,
not
you're
sorry.
not sorry.
You're not sorry. You're sorry Rams beat them.
I was laughing hysterically is what I was doing.
I mean, you know, it's truly humiliating to get beat by Baker Mayfield 2 days after he started the.
That's the worst part.
98 yards, longest drive inside of 2 minutes to win a game in 45 years.
Incredible.
Yeah, I have a term for the Raider defense. That's you remember the old Doomsday defense?
Yep.
Yeah, I have a ongoing term, the dog defense.
Oh. It was rather curious why the Raiders were playing how they were, considering that they had to go 98 yards against a quarterback who hadn't played with the team.
And they had to score a touchdown, not a field goal, a touchdown.
It was very curious strategy.
Wow.
Oh,
this is the sixth game this year that they've lost. Sixth one-score game they've lost, and they've hacked most of them up like
and
that.
Was the stat, Kent, 4 double-digit leads at the half now that they lost this year?
There was a stat of all of the Raider coaches in history and their record when leading by 10 or more at halftime. Madden was 35-1-1. Tom Flores was like 20-3 or something like that. And Josh McDaniel is 0-4. He already has
5 now.
Well, it's 0-4.
Yeah, counting last night, right? Yeah.
He already has more losses of leading by 10 or more at halftime than any other coach in Raider history.
Time for him to go back to Belichick.
Again.
Again. Listen,
hey, Bill will take him back with how bad their offense is this
when
year.
the Raiders hired him, my friend who is a Broncos fan said, God bless the Raiders. Thank God they hired him. Because McDaniel was a disaster with Denver, and he's not doing too well with Vegas. By the way, the game's replaying on NFL Network right now if you want to watch it.
Oh, there you go,
again,
Ken, if you want to rewatch the end of it.
Maybe it changed.
I think I'll pass.
Probably for the best. Probably for the best.
All right, Kent Wogemont Movie Club next week. Nope.
Sounds good.
Have a great weekend. Thanks.
Bye, Kent.
Bye.
There he is, Kent Wogemont of the Lincoln Journal-Star.
Should we talk more about the 335?
Why do we want to talk about
335?
Well, we're going to, because Brandon Hoffman of 24/7 Sports is going to join us next. He covered Tony White and is known and been around him for the last 15 years. So we'll get some more insight into Tony White on 1620 The Zone.
Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Sharp. Have a great weekend. Have a great sports weekend. Make memories. And then join me on Monday morning at 6 for a brand new morning show. That's right. New, fresh, something you've never heard before. Monday at 6 a.m. on 1620 The Zone.
Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Cloudy and chilly overnight. Some fog, possibly a bit of freezing fog. Lows dipping back into the upper 20s to low 30s. Clouds and some fog to start Saturday, then skies turn partly sunny in the afternoon. Highs reaching the low 40s. I am Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center. Heads up, a crash is causing delays on 10th between Center and Pacific at Pierce Street. Also got a wreck on eastbound I-80 at 96th, causing delays through there. If you're west on L Street, you're going to see delays between Center and 156th. Then also some delays on westbound Dodge between 74th and 90th. I'm Mike Neville. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Saul's Jewelry and Loan.
Pulling in the holidays with Saul's. All jewelry in stock up to 50% off. Ladies' diamond rings starting at $89. Earrings starting at $39. Gemstone rings starting at $89. Bling in the holidays with up to 50% off jewelry at Saul's Jewelry and Loan.
With almost everything in life, you have choices. You can pick a lot, a little, or somewhere in the middle. So shouldn't there be an internet plan that's just as clever? One that allows you to add TV or home automation whenever. That's why Cox now offers flexible internet plans, giving you all the services you desire at nothing you don't require. Additional services can be added at then current regular rates. All services subject to residential customer service agreement and acceptable use policy found at cox.com/policies. Restrictions apply.
Creighton Sports Update.
Creighton women's basketball is back at DJ Sokol Arena tomorrow as they host the Drake Bulldogs. Tip-off is set for 6 p.m. Bring a new or slightly used teddy bear to participate in the teddy bear toss at halftime to support Toys for Tots. Limited tickets are available online at gocreighton.com/tickets. That's Creighton versus Drake tomorrow at 6 p.m. And that's your Creighton Sports Update.
1620 The Zone proudly supports Creighton Athletics.
Do you hear what we hear? Omaha Steaks has tons of jobs and hours. Right now, we're hiring for a variety of seasonal positions in our warehouses. Plus, all positions come with a great employee discount on food you can use all year long. To view available job openings and to apply online, go to omahasteaks.com/jobs or text STEAKS to 22633 to apply today. This holiday season, dash through the dough and earn extra cash working at Omaha Steaks.
The brand new Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair is now hiring, starting wages up to $20.10 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply at the Holiday Inn Blair Monday through Wednesday, 9:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and the Florence City Hall Thursday and Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. for on-the-spot interviews. Unable to attend? Apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
Giving the food lover in your life a great gift has never been easier. Gift cards for Shucks Fish House, Bailey's Breakfast and Lunch, and Absolutely Fresh Seafood Market can be ordered online fast and easy at absolutelyfresh.com and mailed or emailed to all your friends, family, and coworkers.
Creighton men's soccer is College Cup bound for the first time since 2012. The Blue Jays take on Syracuse in the semifinal round today, and kickoff from Cary, North Carolina is set for 5 p.m. on ESPNU. That's today, 5 p.m. on ESPNU.
Make the right call, fans. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Rooferees.
Welcome back on Sportsmanlike Conduct, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com, the Zone mobile app, and, of course, 1620 The Zone TV, where you can watch along with the program as well. Happy to be joined on the Les Hills Harley-Davidson hotline. Brandon Huffman writes for 24/7 Sports and has been familiar with and has covered Tony White for several years. Brandon's been kind enough to give us a few minutes here on this One Beer Friday. Brandon, good afternoon.
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys.
When you heard that Nebraska was going after, and well, actually none of us heard that they were going after Tony White. It literally came out of the blue. But your reaction when you heard that Matt Rule had made the move for Tony White?
I mean, just a perfect personality fit. I think this is the kind of defensive coordinator that Nebraska fans should get excited about. He may not have a name that many people in Lincoln and surrounding parts were familiar with, but if you've been paying attention to college football this last few years, you know, Syracuse's problem had been scoring. It had not been stopping, and his defenses were on the field way too long, but they've been a top 25 ranked defense over the last couple of years. So it just made the most sense for him to go to a place where, you know, he can kind of have that defense be appreciated, and with an offense that hopefully backs it up, but also the recruiting angle from it too gives Nebraska one of the best recruiters in all of college football.
Brandon, let's start with that recruiting, the personality, the way he recruits. What makes him so good in your opinion?
You know, it's not that difficult to recruit to San Diego State because it's San Diego. Who doesn't want to spend time in San Diego? But when you're in a state where you've got 4 Power 5 schools like San Diego State had, he was still able to recruit and get top players to go visit San Diego State, to commit to San Diego State. You know, one of the stories that doesn't get told nearly enough is Reuben Foster was the number 2 player in the country 10 years ago. I ended up getting drafted by the San Francisco 49ers, started at Alabama. He took an official visit to San Diego State, of all places, largely because of the work that Tony White did to even be in the mix for a kid who was from Auburn, Alabama, who went to Alabama, and for him to visit San Diego State, ended up signing a couple of his teammates. So that's the kind of impact he had, where he was going up against the big boys. He wasn't afraid to go up against the big boys. Signed some fantastic players at San Diego State. And again, it was to a group of 5 school. He makes the move to Arizona State in 2018 when he joined Herm Edwards' staff. Immediately had the same success, but now he was recruited to a Pac-12 school. So he's been able to recruit, kind of outkick his coverage, if you will, to where he's been. And now he's at a school where it's a recognizable name, it's a recognizable brand, and he's a Texan native. But he spent a lot of his time in his career as a player and coach in California, and now he's got some East Coast ties. So he's got the ability to kind of recruit nationally now.
Brandon, I guess a quick detour, if we could. The staff, as we have seen it get put together, a lot of these new assistant coaches have a background in like recruiting operations, whether it's running the whole thing, being involved in the scouting department. I wonder where you think that could pay off for Nebraska in future seasons.
Well, I think it's going to be where you're going to see an immediate upgrade in talent. Obviously, I think Matt Rule, like a lot of coaches that were hired in 2021 for the 2022 season, will probably hit the portal hard to kind of fill some gaps immediately for 2023, but there's going to be an emphasis and a focus on high school recruiting. And you bring in the coaches that he has with their ties really all over the country. I mean, you think back to a few years ago when Mike Riley came in, it seemed like so much of their efforts was focused on the West Coast because Mike Riley's ties were almost all with the West Coast. There was the Cali-Nebraska movement, and it seemed like there was almost an isolated area where they were focusing all their efforts. Now Matt Rule comes in and he spreads a wide net. He's going to capture, all parts of the country and to allow Nebraska to really recruit from all corners. With the impending move of UCLA and USC into the Big Ten, it won't surprise me if Rule says, hey, let's still recruit the West Coast. Nebraska's always recruited the West Coast well, but it's not going to be isolated to one place. He's going to use the ties that each of his coaches have and really emphasize the point of, we can recruit guys nationally. Let's do that. Let's continue to do that. And let's rebuild this brand.
Brandon Huffman for 24/7 Sports. He's a West Coast analyst who has covered Tony White, Nebraska's new defensive coordinator. You mentioned at the outset, great personality fit. This is the one coach of the coaches that have been hired so far, and there's been 7 other confirmed. Well, I guess this isn't the only other one. Donovan Raiola, who was retained, also didn't have any previous ties with Matt Rule. But Tony White didn't really have any past ties, direct ties with Matt Rule. But yet you say the personalities mesh pretty well. So even though this isn't a, hey, he coached for me at Temple, or he coached for me at Baylor, or he coached for me for the Panthers, it's still a guy who seems to, at least philosophically and maybe emotionally, matches up well with his new boss?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, a lot of times that actually speaks to the respect that a coach commands as an assistant, and the impression that a head coach can give, that there aren't any times where they necessarily cross paths. Tony White finished his career at UCLA after the 2000 season. The next year, Matt Rule was a graduate assistant. That was probably the closest that they came to crossing paths, other than Matt Rule coached at Baylor. Dino Babers, who he was the defense coordinator for, was once a head coach, or was an assistant coach at Baylor. So they, were kind of like two ships passing in the night. But I think that shows the respect level that he saw what Tony White did at Syracuse, what he had done at Arizona State, what he had done when he was at San Diego State, coming out of the Rocky Long coaching tree. Rocky Long, it was one of the best defensive minds in college football when he was at San Diego State. Took what Brady Hoke did and just took it to a complete new level. And he always served as the de facto defensive coordinator, even though he was the head coach. But Tony White was essentially the DC in waiting, the head coach in waiting maybe at San Diego State. Then he makes that move to Arizona State. To give you an idea of the kind of personality and the kind of respect defensively that there was for Tony White, when Danny Gonzalez left Arizona State to take the head coaching job at New Mexico, Antonio Pierce and longtime NFL head coach Marvin Lewis were on Herm Edwards' staff at Arizona State, and he promoted Tony White over both of them to be the defensive coordinator. He ended up being the DC for the Sun Bowl before he ended up leaving for Syracuse a few weeks later. But that shows you that, you got an 18-year NFL head coach, or however long that Marvin Lewis was, and Tony White was the guy that Herm Edwards wanted to go with. So personality. He's not a stoic guy, but a very matter-of-fact coach. But then you also see the presence he commands. Maybe those years at UCLA, in San Diego, he knows kind of how to have the personality, the charisma. But when he is coaching a game, you will see that focus very much how Rocky Long is. Rocky Long was very engaging as a coach, as a personality when he was, talking to the media. But man, when those football games are being played, Rocky Long looked like a professor with how he would diagnose opposing offenses. And Tony White has not fallen far from that tree.
Brandon, so much over the last 24 hours, we've all kind of been trying to get a crash course in the 3-3-5 defense. I know that some of the immediate concerns that I've seen from Husker fans has been like, is this a defense that can work in quote unquote a conference like the Big Ten? I wonder, when you hear that concern, what do you think?
Well, I think it's a valid concern because when you look at a lot of the schools that have ran 3-3-5 defenses, they've been giving up a lot of six points in that same vein. But when you look at what Tony White was able to do at Syracuse, I said it earlier, there were a lot of times where those games were 10-7, 13-10, and that defense didn't bend, it didn't break. It held Syracuse in that game, and Syracuse just couldn't get anything going offensively. So he's done a great job of managing that defense against the personnel, against the scheme that they're going up against. When you look back at Rocky Long's history, and I keep making the reference to Rocky Long, but Tony White played for him. He was recruited by him and then spent a number of years under him. And Rocky Long, like I said, he was one of the best defensive minds out west. And he was in the Pac-12, at the time it was the Pac-10, as a defensive coordinator. And that was one of the first conferences that really was chucking the ball through the air all the time. And his defenses were the ones that were stymieing a lot of those passing offenses in the Pac-10 in the late 90s. He would be bringing pressure from everywhere. There would be blitzes. There would be disguised blitzes. You would have he one year had a safety that had 12 sacks coming in from a safety spot. So he would basically scheme up, depending on the personnel, depending on the offensive game plan of the opponent, and did a good job adjusting to it. And I think that's where Tony White has shown those chops at Syracuse and even at Arizona State for the game he was a DC, that he will adjust that defense to the offense he's going against, and he's going to be able to stack up that 3-3-5, but make the necessary personnel changes and adjustments to keep those offenses from really putting up a lot of points.
Brandon, one of the things about the 3-3-5 is it utilizes smaller defensive linemen. So if you're not from a place that can recruit a lot of, SEC types in terms of body types on the defensive line, that, this is a defense that can work for you. Nebraska is kind of in a weird spot in that they are a brand, but when it comes to defensive line play, it's been a while since Nebraska has had what would be considered a great defensive line. So is this a marriage that can work, this 3-3-5 with Nebraska, and the way that you anticipate this staff and this coach is going to recruit?
I do, and I think the reason why is there's the good old-fashioned NCAA transfer portal to kind of help you make those quicker fixes. I think that is something that, when Scott Frost first got the job in Nebraska, the transfer portal had just kind of opened up, and it wasn't nearly what it is now. When you look at a lot of schools that maybe made coaching changes prior to 2018, there wasn't the quick fix. Now you have the opportunity with players in the portal to go get the bodies, to go get the players, to go get the guys that maybe only need 1 year to show what they can do to the NFL, and you can go plug those gaps and then allow you the opportunity to start recruiting players and evaluating players that fit your scheme, that you can get those bodies, that you don't necessarily need to play right away as true freshmen. You can plug and play some of these guys in the transfer portal. And that's what I think you're going to see them do. I think you're going to see them kind of make that emphasis with the transfer portal to get those bodies that can allow his defense to be at its best right from the get-go, rather than building up 3 or 4 years to get the personnel and the packages that he needs. But he'll be able to do that in 2023. And I think, the combination of him and Matt Rule, and given Matt Rule's background, I think that's going to be an optimal fit to find portal players pretty quickly to fit into that defensive scheme. So when they're rolling that out in the fall of 2023, they're ready to make those stops.
Brandon, before I let you go, is this a guy you think we'll see as a head coach within the next half decade or so?
Oh, I absolutely think. In fact, I've long felt that he will be the next head coach at San Diego State, and I think that there's the possibility that he might be bigger than a San Diego State hire. It just seems like San Diego State is such a natural fit. Again, going back to the USC and UCLA move to the Big Ten, I think that does open the door for San Diego State to make that move from the Mountain West into the Pac-12. And I think given his ability to go and show what he can do out of Arizona State, out of Syracuse, and now in Nebraska, when San Diego State does make the inevitable move, in my opinion, to the Pac-12, he's the optimal target because he's from that Rocky Long tree. He's been a part of the biggest resurgence the Aztecs have had. He was there when San Diego State was able to get the on-campus stadium, but I think that job he's always going to have his eye on will be the opportunity to go back to his alma mater and coach at UCLA. It may not happen right away with Chip Kelly there. They may still go the sitting head coach route, but I think the more opportunities he has in the DC, and if he and Matt Rhule can combine to turn Nebraska around, then I think he's going to be that much more attractive to his alma mater when that job comes open at some point.
Brandon Huffman, West Coast analyst for 24/7 Sports. Brandon, thanks for the insight. We really appreciate it as we get to know Nebraska's new defensive coordinator.
You bet. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, Brandon.
Brandon joining us on the Lus Hills Harley-Davidson hotline. I hope what we have all learned over the last 24 hours is just because a first impression is an impression you're not familiar with doesn't mean it necessarily has to be a bad thing.
Yeah, thank you. I'm happy you described it that way because I don't even know what the negative first impression was.
I think the negative first impression was he didn't come from a program that had an established great defensive presence. I mean, people don't think of Syracuse around here.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there had been some buzz that, they're going to get Jim Leonard. Well, that was never going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was the buzz about, look at Georgia's defense. And that wasn't going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and I think part of this falls also underneath the umbrella of when you look at this staff, and I'll hear this argument. You got a $7 million salary pool, and there doesn't appear to be any more notable names or more established names. You've got some guys, and we've posted the graphic. In terms of the overall Power 5 experience, there's not a lot of it out there when you look at what this team has done or what this staff has done. You've got Tony White, who's got 5 years full-time experience in either the Power 5 of the NFL, and Evan Cooper has 5, and Marcus Satterfield has 4. But, outside of that, there's not a lot of that type of experience. And a lot of the conversation during the coaching search process was, well, they need guys with Power 5 experience. They need guys with Big Ten experience. There's not a lot of either of those with this coaching staff. So I think it's a combination of different things that maybe some folks were, well, okay, yeah, I haven't heard of this Foley guy, and Terrence Knighton's only been a coach for 4 years. But if they go out and get a big-name defensive coordinator, then everything's going to be fine. And when that big name in the mind of the viewer or the reader or the listener didn't happen, that's when the meltdown occurred.
Sure. And I mean, I guess what I'm always going to say is, how many of these coaches were you actually going to know the name of without having to research it on Wikipedia or Google?
Right. See, the thing was,
and also I wonder if we might have to take Jake Pizza's name off this thing.
We may have to.
Mm-hmm.
But, and again, this is where the whole Frost era broke people's brains.
Yes.
Because when Frost brought all of his guys over, well, most outside of Greg Austin and then Barrett Ruud, you hadn't heard of any of those guys either. But they had the pixie dust. They had the rub from Scott Frost. Oh, he's Scott Frost, guys. Well, we'll just do anything Scott Frost says. We'll just bow and genuflect to him. Well, Scott must know he's the coach. And I think you had some people who, just weren't ready to buy in because they hadn't heard of these guys.
Now, if you want to be slow playing this because your heart got broken the last time and the time before that and the time before that, that's totally good with me. I'm totally good with me.
I just hope that carries over to the expectations for this season too.
Randy says, I like the hire, but any concern he wasn't number one on the list. Why wasn't he named after their last game? Why the delay? Personally, that wouldn't bother me if he wasn't the number one candidate. I know that Rhule, he mentioned this on a podcast that he did, that he was trying to talk Phil Snow into coming, but it doesn't bother me if they have to, if it's quote unquote settling for him, just given, look, this is limited research that I've done on this guy over the last 24 hours, but everything I read about him seems to say that he is an up and comer. And like he just said, he is a future head coach. Nebraska has not had a lot of coaches around here as assistants that have become future head coaches. Jay Norvell, he's one of them. And he was from the dreaded Bill Callahan staff.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Beck is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, really,
and Craig Bowl.
Craig Bowl, Carl Pelini. Not a whole lot, though. Not a whole lot. So young up-and-coming defensive coordinator, the people in the industry are very, very high on. Very, very high on.
If anything, the last 24 hours, I wasn't against the hire 24 hours ago, and only the last 24 hours has only emboldened me into saying I think this is a pretty good hire.
It's so funny, man. Like I've heard a couple times this week, why aren't you giving this staff a chance? Why are you giving Matt Rule a chance? I was like, whoa. Don't conflate my frustration with keeping Donovan Raiola around with my reaction to the rest of the staff.
Right.
I've used the word intrigued a couple of times about two coaches in particular. I heard it might be E.J. Barthel, by the way. E.J. Barthel, and then Terrence Knight and a couple of coaches maybe a little lighter on experience for their position groups, but high on ceiling and potential. And then the other ones, I like from what I have read. I mean, certainly I guess I have a few concerns about Satterfield, just given what the reaction was coming out of the South Carolina fan base. But I mean, it's basically the opposite with Tony White. I am really okay with this. I think that they're putting together a really interesting, different type of staff. Very diverse staff, too, which I think is super important. And I look forward to seeing how this group recruits, given that they also have a lot of recruiting backgrounds.
Yes, they do. We're closing in on a One Beer Friday. This week brought to you by the Bearded Brewer.
Nice.
On 1620 The Zone.
Omaha's most listened to all sports radio station. Again and again and again. 1620 The Zone.
Hey, Tapper, now's the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Why? Because right now, new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. Imagine watching a game, betting on it, and not sweating. Free bets back if your first bet doesn't win. All you got to do is use my promo code HAPPER, H-A-P-P-E-R. Whether it's college football, the NFL, anything in between, you can combine your bets at a chance at a bigger payout with our same-game parlay. A lot of things to love about FanDuel. They have all your favorite bets from money line, point spreads, player props, and you can combine those together for your chance at a same game parlay. Live betting on Saturdays, live betting on Sundays. That's one of the things that I take advantage of. And you get your winnings paid out quickly on an app that's safe, secure, and easy to use. So sign up today with promo code HAPPER for your no sweat first bet. That's promo code HAPPER, H-A-P-P-E-R. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 and over, present in Iowa. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as now withdrawable free bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Your vehicle is important. It gets you where you need to go, but it does much more than that. I'm Darcy with Dingman's Collision Center, and at Dingman's, we know your vehicle is an investment and that safety is your priority. To make sure your vehicle is as safe as it was prior to an accident, bring it to Dingman's for proper, safe, and certified repairs. We protect you and your investment. We've been voted Best of Omaha for the past 17 years. At Dingman's, we'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less. Find us at dingmans.com.
If you love attending events like I do, there's no better tool for you than the Tickets for Less app. This free Tickets for Less app puts all of your area's top events in one place, or you can simply search for the event you want right on the home screen. And for a limited time, if you download the app and you register, you're going to receive a special discount sent directly to your phone when you download the app and create a free account. If you're looking to lock in your seats for a big concert or sporting event this holiday season, all you have to do, download the Tickets for Less app and save big today.
Suicide can be prevented by knowing the warning signs, and most importantly, knowing what to do if you recognize those signs in yourself, a loved one, or even a stranger. There are simple ways you can be there for someone, so they can be here for more tomorrows. Visit moretomorrowsne.org to learn the signs, how to approach the conversation, and where to get help. Or call 988 for help now. That's moretomorrowsne.org.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Here's a little Christmas tip. Never ask Santa for adult beverages. Seriously, can you imagine the legal implications of carrying quality, locally brewed Nebraska beer or cider while flying a sleigh? So if you want your family and friends to gift you some Nebraska brewed awesomeness, ask and ye shall receive. Your local Nebraska Brewers Guild wants you to know that local brewers are currently working on special seasonal brews to make your holiday get-togethers merry and bright. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild.
Woodhouse Mazda and Woodhouse Place Mazda are the Omaha Metro's exclusive Mazda dealers, conveniently located in Bellevue or in Millard off 144th and Giles Road. You can shop, finance, and buy your next Mazda SUV or sedan your way. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will guide you to your next vehicle, and our full service department is there for you when your vehicle needs maintenance. Visit us at woodhousemazda.com or woodhouseplacemazda.com to learn more.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 85% water, right?
85% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Ooh, pass me the intercom thingy.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Don't pay for water, pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods.
Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
John, we got some text messages coming in to 402-951-1620. Like this one from Will. In retrospect, was the $7 million to fire Frost early worth it? What did it buy us? I'll tell you what it bought you. You didn't have to watch. Well,
you didn't have to watch garbage ass Scott Frost football anymore.
That's the main thing. And,
and
you know what?
They still had a losing record.
But they got rid of Chenander too, which might have been the better. Are you going to still defend Chenander after he gave up 45 versus Georgia Southern?
I love the fact that you're never going to get off this horse.
What? That's the horse, the correct horse? Josh is on correct again. Sorry that I'm riding the right horse.
You're not riding the right horse.
Bad defense, mediocre defense, okay defense, bad
so
defense.
You support the Georgia Southern loss.
Wow, John, you were rooting against Nebraska?
Tough
All those fans were right.
I'm not rooting against anyone.
But no, I mean, was it worth it? Yeah, you got a good coach in the end, and you didn't have to watch Scott Frost.
Well, they could have ended up, but they could have ended up with this. I mean,
yeah, I guess if you fire him 2 weeks later.
Yeah, the timeline of him getting fired. The only person, honestly, that it could have benefited was Mickey Joseph.
If he would have gotten the job,
because he got the opportunity, to try to earn the job.
That's true.
That's about the only thing. Now, yeah, I guess the other thing it could have benefited, at least Trev didn't have to hide behind the scenes. Not that he conducted an open search, but he didn't have to hide behind the scenes actively searching for a coach while he still had a permanent one employed.
Unless the argument is keeping him literally until October 1st and getting rid of him around the Indiana game.
Yeah, I suppose in hindsight.
I've heard a lot of people say, John, before, like, once you have decided to move on from the coach, just move on and don't let him even have the opportunity to beat a team or teams. Look, they were not going to beat Oklahoma no matter who the coach was.
That's right.
But in an alternate reality where they pull off the upset, it really would have put Trev in a pretty squirrely spot where he would have had to defend the move a little bit more.
Sure.
He didn't have to defend the move anymore after Georgia Southern.
No, that's true.
And so I think that's why he made it. By the way, you just mentioned a coach that we also got a text about, and that was from Scott. He goes, hey guys, hey guys, what's going on with Mickey? Is he still on administrative leave? Any chance Rule tries to rehab him? No, he is not going to coach at Nebraska. He will not be on Nebraska. So there you go.
So
I haven't heard anything otherwise.
Yeah, no, we have not heard anything new on that front. And I'll stand by what I said last week or whenever it was. It feels like it's been 2 weeks.
It does. Feels like it's been 2 months.
Yeah. The priority right now is justice, a family healing, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Mickey Joseph's coaching future, that's up to Mickey. That's up to fate.
And I was going to say schools.
But as far as Nebraska is concerned, Nebraska just needs to move forward.
Yep.
Needs to move forward.
Dan says.
And they'll be fine.
It's so funny. People act like the buyout literally came out of their own pocket. Yeah, look.
Isn't that
Trev
strange?
had the money.
Isn't that strange how Nebraskans look out for the money that they don't have to spend? Now, technically, I guess you could say, hey, if I pay season tickets, I'm paying into that. And I get that part.
But a buyout
to
like
me,
that.
To me, the bigger concern for all of you should be your piss poor return on investment that you've been getting for the money you've paid into this program.
Yeah.
That's a bigger concern over whether or not they had to spend an extra $7 million to let the worst coach in Nebraska football history go to an early vacation.
Bingo, which he did. He went and played golf the next day. Travis says, I mentally benefited from Frost getting fired earlier and spending the extra dollars because I was able to actually enjoy Nebraska football this past season. Look, do not underestimate that, too. The peace of mind that it kind of gave this place to just be able to move forward. Yeah, I just got that email, too. We're not reading that.
I'm not reading that one, Mina, but it did make me laugh.
Not reading that email.
Yeah.
But the peace of mind, it was good. It was good that this place could move on.
Yeah.
There was nothing to argue about anymore.
That's what it bought you. It bought you finality.
Yeah, it was done.
We no longer had to litigate Scott Frost anymore.
Which isn't it? And like I say, this is someone.
We paid him that much to go away, not just to go away physically, but to go away from our headspace.
The part that annoys me, and I say this as someone just like you who said at the end of last year that he should be fired, was that we spent 9 months debating if he was going to get it turned around, and the dude was jettisoned within 3 games.
Yep.
It's like,
and
wow,
basically,
what a waste of time that was.
And basically, the story was written after the first game.
And everybody knew. By that point, it took people 3 extra games. Some people, like you said, 1 extra game, and it's like, never mind. He should get fired. It's like, wow, thanks for throwing this season away, everybody. Like, that's the part that's a bummer to me, is this season was a waste. But in the end, they weren't going to get Matt Rule last year. And if Matt Rule is the guy that's going to turn Nebraska into a winning program again and a team that competes for championships, I would say it's worth it.
Also, Nebraska beat Iowa.
And Nebraska beat Iowa, which is hilarious, objectively funny. And we barely got to talk about it. Why couldn't they have hired Matt Rule on Monday at like 3:30 instead of 2 o'clock? Tua.
It is time for One Beer Friday, brought to you by the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild and this week's featured brewer, the Bearded Brewer, on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center, heads up 10th Street between Center and Pacific is closed because of a crash. We've also got a wreck on 54th Street affecting northbound commuters at Northwest Radial. A stall has the right lane blocked on eastbound L Street at the JFK, causing significant delays through there. And then stop-and-go traffic on eastbound Pacific between 680 and 96th. And if you're north on 96th, stop-and-go traffic around Burt Street. I'm Mike Neville. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by IBEW Local 22.
Looking for a career, not a job? IBEW has immediate openings for residential electricians. You'll receive top pay, fully funded family health care, and retirement benefits. Invest in yourself with IBEW Local 22. Call Michael at 402-810-0789.
Email Unsportsmanlike Conduct on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox with whatever is on your mind, from your hot takes to what you think is one. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Welcome to the After Hours Lounge on 1620 The Zone.
He looked like he was running in slow motion during that open field run.
He's a strider.
So would that equate to him being a slightly more athletic Ben Roethlisberger? What's happening with him running the ball?
Because they're taking the DBs and secondary downfield.
Catch After Hours 6 to 8 Monday through Friday, or as the sports schedule allows. Brought to you by Iowa Western Community College and Payne West on 1620 The Zone.
Welcome to OmahaWeekendDeals.com, where we bring you deals to some of your favorite restaurants and events every weekend. This weekend's deal is to Control Coffee and Cereal Bar. Control is a casual place to explore new tastes, meet friends, and have business chats while enjoying your favorite brew, drinks, and of course, cereal. Control has over 30 cereals to choose from, and Control even provides the fun with retro games. Stop by today at 1016 South 10th Street in Omaha. Head to OmahaWeekendDeals.com now to get yours.
Hey, everybody, it's Michael Severe for Ted and Wally's, the perfect gift to be given during the giving season. We're talking gift cards with the merchandise and so many great holiday flavors. And not just can you buy it there and eat it there, but you can also take it home as well. You got pints, you got quarts, you got half gallons, all for the holiday season, and you'll make someone's day by giving them the gift of ice cream. Head over to Benson, location right next to Taste of New Orleans, or into the Old Market. Grab some gift cards, grab some to-go orders as well. And when you visit, of course, tell them Severe sent you.
This is Scott Schultz from Host Coffee. 2022 marks our 50th year and business has never been better. We are rapidly growing and adding new customers, which means we need new route drivers and service technicians. We have new jobs for those new to the industry with little or no experience, and new careers that require knowledge in the coffee and vending world. There's a good chance we have just what you need in a new job. Host Coffee offers competitive pay and understands the work-life balance. Apply today at hostcoffee.net/careers and join our team.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
This message is for the guy who isn't perfect in the bedroom. And let's be honest, who is? Maybe the issue is getting it up or keeping it up, or maybe it's finishing too soon. If any of these performance hiccups sound familiar to you, don't sweat it. Hims can help. At 4hims.com, you can go online and get clinically proven prescription medication that treats these issues, prescribed for you, if appropriate, by licensed medical providers. And the medication is shipped free to your door in discreet packaging. Plus, Hims gives you unlimited follow-up visits with medical providers. No one's perfect in the bedroom every time, but with Hims, you can get a lot closer than before. And chances are, your partner will agree.
To get started today, go to 4hims.com/perfect. That's 4hims.com/perfect for your free visit. FORHIMS.com/PERFECT.
Here's an opportunity for business-to-business salespeople. NRG Media is looking for someone who gets excited about helping local businesses grow. Are you an idea person who can create and execute a plan? We should talk. At NRG Media, we create local marketing campaigns designed to meet a key challenge. On air, online, on-site, audio, video. It's all part of what you can do. A sales career with NRG lets you make a real difference. Business-to-business salespeople? Apply online at nrgmedia.com. NRG Media is an equal opportunity employer. Did you know that radon is the #1 cause of lung cancer for non-smokers and that our region has some of the highest levels in the country? Radon Defense Midwest can test and fix your home. Visit radonradio.com for an exclusive offer for 1620 The Zone listeners. That's radonradio.com.
Cubby's supports the PACE program with Raise Some Dough. For every large pizza sold at Cubby's in the Old Market, Cubby's gives $1 to the Police Athletic League, serving at-risk and disadvantaged inner-city children with athletic and educational programs. PACE has over 5,800 program participants. The league reaches kids that would not normally be able to participate in athletics like soccer and baseball due to financial situations and family dynamics. PACE wants to give every kid the opportunity at athletics and a healthy and safe environment. If you'd like to support PACE too, go to paceomaha.org.
Shop Woodhouse Place Hyundai and Nissan, 144th and Giles. KOZN, Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs.
It'd be nice to have a throw. It would 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 be nice to have a blow throw. It would be nice to have a blow throw. It would be nice to have a blow throw from your mom.
I drank beer with my friends. Sometimes I had too many beers. I liked beer. I still like beer. Had beers, have some beers. One beer, drink beer, drinks beer, drank beer, and drinking beer. Upstairs, downstairs, where was it? I don't know, but I had one beer. Friday! You probably have beers. Center. Each week, Ralph Club biggest contributor. Beer for that. I like beer. I don't know if you like beer, Senator, or not. What do you like to drink? Next week.
I had one beer Friday. Yeehaw!
Hanging out and having some beers with friends, which I gladly do, and which I fully embrace.
Well, you think it was nope? It was one beer Friday.
It looks almost as good in replay as it did in real life. We were watching the replay of last night's game, and Baker Mayfield. Happy one beer victory Friday, ladies and gentlemen. We are drinking a cream ale from the Bearded Brewer.
I can smell the peanut butter.
Bearded Brewer, located here in Omaha, 18039 R Plaza.
Ooh.
This is a wow. It smells like a s'more.
God.
Yeah, that peanut butter
smells like
awesome.
a s'more. I'm not kidding.
I love this.
The cream ale flavored with peanut butter and marshmallows. It smells like a s'more.
I like that a lot.
Very
And
tasty.
It's called the Satchel.
Very good. Very good. Bearded Brewer.
That is
so
different, man.
they opened in May of last year. So what, almost 2 years now, year and a half. And I remember the first time I had it, I had heard there was a lot of hype for this stout called The Ride.
Let's ride.
Let's ride. And went out and tried it, lived up to the hype and then some. Really, really good beer. This is tasty.
So the Satchel, finished with peanut butter and marshmallows, incredibly easy to drink, very popular amongst any type of beer drinker, flavorful, at the same time easy to drink. They only release cans of it a few times a year, but it's on tap at least 10 months out of
nice.
the year. This has only been in operation for about a year and a half, but the Bearded Brewer has been making beer for over 25 years, loves to be creative and aggressive while using high-end ingredients.
Absolutely.
They're open 6 days a week. Monday is their day when they're closed. And they'll have food trucks normally, including from the Deviled Egg Company, which we had last week for my wife's birthday.
My wife? Oh, that's
very,
good.
very
My egg?
eclectic. The Deviled Egg Company.
Was it
out,
good?
out on West Q Street. Very good.
I've never heard of them.
It's gourmet deviled eggs.
I'm into that.
They had a Reuben deviled egg, a Chick-fil-A deviled egg, Chick-fil-A themed deviled egg.
Wow.
It had like Chick-fil-A type
Chick-fil-A.
sauce and pickle on it.
Oh.
It's very unique.
I want to try this.
But it's out on, it's about 180th and Q is the Deviled Egg Company. But yeah, but they are also catered by the Deviled Egg Company.
And how about this? Second location, opening in Colorado, summer of 2023. Summer, you say, before the fall of 2023?
Before September 9th?
Before Coach Prime?
Yeah, what's going on in next summer, next fall? Interesting.
So thank you to the Bearded Brewer and thank you to the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild, proud sponsors of One Beer Friday. And you can win a $25 gift card from the Bearded Brewer. All you have to do is tweet at us what beer or what is your drink of choice to start the weekend and use the hashtag One Beer Friday.
Nice.
And Nick will pick one at random.
At some point tonight. I don't know when yet, but I'll do it.
Nice.
I'll slide in to those DMs.
So yeah, and it any kind of beer or alcoholic beverage, or if you can't drink alcoholic beverage, if you got a nice iced tea or an iced coffee, whatever, just use the hashtag One Beer Friday. We do not discriminate here on the program on One Beer Friday. We just want to remind you to drink Nebraska. So a few messages into the Equitable Bank inbox that I wanted to address in this happy hour. By the way, predictions coming up. We're starting a new round.
Oh, where's the belt at? Where's the belt for the champ?
You don't get
the
nothing.
champ is here. The champ is here. Where's the belt at, Nick? Give me the belt.
John won it last time.
I won it the last time.
I'm gonna go on Amazon and look up a wrestling belt so I can.
It's kind of
wear
fun.
that during
So
predictions.
I won, then John won, then Josh won, which means that the cycle has come back to me now.
Well, no, it means it's coming back to me because I'm the best.
Best at being
I've won
second.
more of these rounds than anyone.
All right, John, I won.
But I
so
won on my
you need
rookie
to buy
year.
me this belt for
Why would I-
1995.
Why would I buy you that belt?
For for kids 8 and up.
We should do this. I kind of like this.
I
idea.
love this. I honestly, Nick, I was gonna buy one and then I forgot. I had this idea 2 weeks ago and then I forgot to when I got home.
Oh,
and I
sure.
didn't
He
buy
has the idea when he's about to win.
I think they got him at Target, right?
Dude,
Is
I don't
that
know.
Is that
Go
a
look.
wrestling belt?
If somebody knows where we can get a wrestling belt, let us know because the champ is here and the champ's going to wear one of these belts every Friday.
Why? Because you're a child?
So this is through.
The
No,
child
I'm a
of 8 years
champion.
old?
This is through the Super Bowl, right? That's what
Yeah.
this stretches through.
Yeah, we're
Wow.
going. This
It's
is
gonna
the
be-
shortest leg of predictions.
It's going to be amazing. So I'm going to win again, and Dallas will win at the
How
end.
are you going to win again?
Because I'm awesome.
How are you going to
We're-
win again
we're
if I
pick-
win
We're picking
again?
Nice,
I won
Nick.
my rookie season,
Dog's
Josh.
ass, son, whatever it is, once a generation. You know those things.
Broken clock is right twice a day, and I've only been right once so far.
Yeah, and that'll be all you're right.
Anyway, Shane writes into the Equitable Bank inbox.
Hello, Shane.
John, didn't you say that this rebuild at Nebraska should be done by an experienced coach? And here's my question. Is that should an experienced coach hire experienced assistants to help in the rebuild and not just be a training seminar? 9 years of experience between Raiola and Knighton. He's talking about the offensive and defensive line coaches. I'm convinced that Matt Rule had to be talked in to taking a coaching job this year. Like Frost, his heart is not in it, and he's going to phone it in. Shane, he is not going to phone it in.
Absolutely not.
And nor did, as much as we have derided, and rightfully so, the worst head coach in Nebraska football history. Scott Frost did not come into this job wanting to mail it in or just collect a paycheck.
I think
he is a
Dirk-
competitor. He wanted to win.
I think Dirk has put it well, and I am going to paraphrase. And so, Dirk Chatelain, if you're out there listening, I don't want to get what your words are wrong, but he's basically said at a certain point they started failing, and he just kind of gave up because he didn't know what to do.
How much did I say Scott Frost in his lifetime had always been associated with winning? Through high school, through college, a lot of his pro stops, and most of his college stops. They had success at Northern Iowa. They had success at Oregon. They had success at UCF. Nothing but winning. And sometimes people who have never really had to go through hard times in terms of wins and losses don't know how to handle it.
Correct.
And I think that was at the heart of what affected Scott Frost. And that's when the effort started to lag, and that's when the disinterest started to roll in because he didn't know what to do. He had never had to face that type of adversity as a coach.
And I'm
or
not
as a
worried.
player.
I'm not worried about that with this staff because Matt Rule has lost. He lost 11 games in 1 year at Baylor.
Sure.
He lost 10 games in 1 year at Temple. He was a failure in the NFL.
Now,
He's failed before.
I don't want to go too hard into this, but when you hear him speak, when you heard him speak a week ago Monday, did he sound like a guy who wasn't energized? Did he sound like a guy who wasn't motivated, who didn't want to come back?
No. Look, when I hear, and by the way, Frost Flash, but O'Shawn Mathis just entered the transfer portal, or not the portal, the NFL draft.
Not surprising.
Not surprising. The way I understood talking him into coaching was more, look, I could have rested on my laurels. I could have, made money, and wouldn't have had to work. Why is this the job that I should come to? The rebuild. Why is this the job? And I guess some people will hear that and they're like, I just don't like that. I wish he would have been all in on it. But man, I mean, have you never negotiated with a boss before? Have you never negotiated a contract with an employer as you try to make more money or make a tough decision? I mean, I think all of us have done that in some way, shape, or form. And look,
didn't he say his wife said this is the place for us?
Yeah, and look, maybe in the end too, you always know you're going to sign on the dotted line, but you're going to negotiate. You're going to see what you can get out of it.
Of course.
Plus, I mean,
you're not just going to take a job just because he wasn't desperate for a job.
Yeah, and this needs to be the right job. This job especially. This program at this moment in time.
If anything, you could if you want to look at it from a positive standpoint, you can say, well, he obviously wanted this job because here's a guy who could have sat on his ass for the next 5 years, collected $40 million, and been just fine. And he decided, I'm going to work for that money and more, and this is the place I want to do it at.
Yeah.
mean, think about that. Put yourself in that spot. Maybe not as a coach, but in whatever profession you're in. If you're in a profession and you can be told, hey, you're going to be set for life, probably set for life before this, but you're going to be set for life and you don't have to work another day and you're going to get paid. And you decide, no, I want to get back in the game. And sure, you're going to make more money than you would have if you would have sat out. But either way, there's a lot of people that would have taken the money and said, see you later. I'm going golfing. And he didn't. He wanted to come back. So if anything, I look at it from the positive side of he was so inspired by what he saw as an opportunity that he said, no, I'm not going to be on the sidelines.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump in. Because the other part of it too is, and you know this is going to happen next year, the year after that, the year after that, there are going to be other very attractive jobs that open up. Maybe more attractive jobs than this one is currently. In fact, I guarantee it. There will be more. There will be jobs that open up in the next couple of years in the college game that will be more attractive than Nebraska is currently. That he could have held out for, and he knows this too. But he chose this. So
that's literally not something I'm worried about at all.
Not worried about. He is not mailing this in.
Yeah.
Mina writes, this is an email I can read from Mina.
Nice. Oh, is this one from earlier today?
I'm confused by some of the Rule talk about how he develops talent and the type of talent he looks for. So much talk, mind-numbing.
Real quick, so much talk because you're listening to his talk show. Anyway, continue.
It seems like some people believe Nebraska has and will get better athletes than what Baylor has and will get. I watch a lot of Baylor football, and I have no doubt Baylor has better athletes over the years and more access to high-quality athletes than Nebraska has and will get overall. Maybe Rule will change that, and I hope he does, but anyone who thinks Nebraska has better athletes is not watching Baylor football.
Have we said that?
No.
Who has said this?
I don't know.
Sometimes I think Mina is arguing with
straw men.
Yes, man. Driving down the interstate, looking, seeing all the scarecrows. I just don't know who Mina is arguing with. I've never said that. Baylor is in a much more talent-rich area, and that's why they have, after being like one of the worst programs in the initial run of the Big 12, and then having the situation with Art Briles, it's why they have turned into this program that is pretty consistently good and sometimes great because they have access to really good players. You know, even the players that are on the back burner for other schools go there and they turn into, you know, NFL starters. So I would never argue that Nebraska is going to be a more talented team than Baylor, or it's easier to get talent than Baylor, because it's not.
Yeah.
So I don't know where I was confused. When I got that email, I was very confused as to where that came from. I think if you're a Husker fan, certainly your hope is, hey, he did these things at Baylor. He did these things at Temple. I hope that he can do them here just with a different twist on it.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I mean, I think sometimes, you know, those who aren't fans of Nebraska hear Husker fans maybe try to talk themselves into certain hires, and that's totally fine. And they just kind of laugh about it. It's like, look, what are you supposed to do? You're a fan of the team. You're supposed to try to find reasons. You know, I did it when Dallas hired Mike McCarthy, even though I spent years mocking Mike McCarthy. I had to do it, though, because I want it to work. I would say it's not that hard, though, to talk yourself into the Matt Rule era working at Nebraska. But it was also easy to do it with Frost. It was easy for me to do it with Riley.
It was
easy for me to do it with Bo.
People did it with Frost.
I did it with Callahan.
Yeah.
I've done it with every coach that they have ever hired in my lifetime.
Sure.
I've always done it. And at a certain point, I realized it's not going to work. But I always start with, this can work, and then I try to figure out how. I retrofit the opinion.
Yep, exactly. One more email from Jeff into the Equitable Bank inbox. And this is to argue for Donovan Raiola. I think our offensive line has been so bad that my standards have just eroded to nothing. However, was it me, or did the pass protection at least improve the last couple of games? Yes, the run game definitely regressed, but I feel like I saw some improvement from the pass protection. Am I crazy?
So I've heard this opinion that the offensive line got better. I didn't
see it.
I didn't notice it.
When you can't even, I mean, Nebraska didn't rush for 100 yards in 5 of their last 7 games, and really it was 6 of their last 7, because the only reason they were over 100 yards against Purdue was because of one big play by a wide receiver.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to argue real hard. And I know we looked at the numbers. Nebraska played some really tough run defenses, but they still came in far below what those run defenses had given up on average.
Yeah, Dave Feit put some numbers together a couple days ago after the news basically was official. And if you missed it, it was made official today with Raiola, as well as Tony White. Nebraska in their last 6 games, so that's Purdue, Illinois, Minnesota, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Iowa. They rushed 173 times for 519 yards. It's 3 yards per carry. The best game they had in that frame was the first, actually. 5.3 yards per carry versus Purdue.
Again, but it was all inflated by one
carry,
play
as we talked about.
by a wide receiver.
So you take that out, the best game they had was Minnesota. 35 rushes for 146, 4.17 yards per carry. The worst game they had, not counting taking out the big play versus Purdue. Actually, you can take that out, and this is still the worst. Iowa. 32 rushes, 51 yards. Essentially 1.6 yards per carry. I am never going to pretend like I'm an offensive line guru, and so I'm not going to start now. But I guess I just didn't see this obvious improvement that a lot of people kept trying to sell me on Wednesday.
Now, here was, and Mitch Sherman wrote about it in his mailbag today on The Athletic. Mitch joins us on Mondays here on 1620 The Zone. He wrote, if you didn't care for his, meaning Raiola's lack of experience, fine, but was it Raiola's fault that Zach Duvall's strength of staff fell short, or that Nuri Norilli missed the season after testing positive for a banned substance, and Teddy Prohaska went down with a knee injury after 3 games, or that Cam Jurgens left for the NFL with 2 seasons of eligibility remaining? Was it Raiola's fault that Nebraska's head coach never got on the same page with the offensive coordinator about the expectations and style of play up front, a problem that predated this season? And Mitch has fair points. Not like Donovan Raiola walked into a good situation to begin with. And that's why I don't necessarily fault this past season's offensive line play solely on his shoulders. Again, my objections are the same objections I had 365 days ago, and that is, this is too important a position to be hiring someone with such a thin resume.
Plus, I think Schaaf, didn't he run through some other reasons that you and I are in on him with? And that is like, he's not even that good of a recruiter.
No.
Or at least he hasn't been yet. So I would hope, like, look, maybe, and this goes back, I guess, to a previous email of the coach coaching the coaches. Matt Rule has background in line coaching. Ed Foley does as well. So, like, that's, look, if you wanted to squint, or if I want to squint, I guess, and try to find reasons that this won't be horrible, that's actually where I would start. And look, Mitch, the fairest point of all, though, I think is, what do you expect? He was coaching under Frost, and then it was a disaster of a situation for the other 9 games. And that is a valid criticism.
Sure it is.
Valid criticism. Riley says the only noticeable difference I've seen in the offensive line this year from last was the pre-snap penalties. They were terrible with that last year, and I think improved this year. Other than that, they didn't look much better. Yeah, I don't have the numbers in front of me. Off the top of my head, it did seem like they were better at that in terms of the pre-snap penalties. It seemed like they were. I mean, there was the Oklahoma disaster of 2021 where they had how many on that one drive? Like 2 or 3 or 4? The snapping issues were definitely gone for the most part. We'll see. I hope, look, I would love to be wrong on Raiola. I would love to be wrong on him. You know, I just
said the same thing last year.
Yeah, I said the same thing last year, but I'm with you. It's too important of a hire. That said, you know, I'm really guessing that Rule's going to have quite the involvement in that spot. And in the end, if the line is good and we can guess who gets the credit, I don't really care. If the line's good, it's not going to matter to me if it's because Rule is helping or Foley is helping or if it's all Raiola. I don't care. Can you coach well, and then can you recruit well? Those are the things we'll be keeping an eye on.
Creighton is kicked off against Syracuse. They're about
the dude who looks
8
like
minutes in.
Corn.
Lexi Lawless. They showed this picture because
Johnny Torres won the Herman Award back when he was
a player. And this is in the Creighton Media Guide because I've thumbed through it and I see it. There's this picture of him with Lexi Lawless, who is on Fox's coverage for the World Cup. But man, Lexi's look back then was
he 100% listened to like new metal.
Yeah.
I believe
Lincoln
that.
Park. You think he was a big Lincoln Park
Big
guy?
Lincoln Park guy.
John, were you ever a big Lincoln Park guy? Crawling in my skin?
Maybe not. So it said Torres played from 94 to 97, right?
Yep.
So that was before
That
Lincoln
was pre
Park.
Lincoln Park. Is it Corn? Big Corn guy? Or
I
was
think
that pre-Corn too?
Like maybe early Corn.
Yeah.
Some Sublime.
He probably was bummed about the passing of your favorite band member's lead man, Kurt Cobain of Nirvana.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Sure. We're drinking the Satchel from the Bearded Brewer.
I love
very unique.
I can just taste the peanut butter in this.
You-
Makes
oh,
me extremely
absolutely.
happy.
You can smell it. You can taste it.
You can smell it. Does it smells like a s'more, but
very good.
I'm discovering really quickly through One Beer Friday.
Yeah,
I really like cream ales.
Oh,
big cream ale boy.
Yes, I think this
Nick's new Twitter handle.
We've had another one of these.
Mhm.
Not this exact one, but we had another cream ale a couple of weeks ago. But it's our One Beer Friday presented by Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild. About 10 minutes into the match, no score. Creighton-Syracuse first national semifinal with the winner to play Indiana or Pitt.
Mhm.
I believe, is it tomorrow? Not tomorrow, is it?
Monday.
Monday.
Yeah.
From Cary, North Carolina.
Doc says $9.5 million a year for a head coach that is 4 games under 500 career or above 500 career sounds like a Nebraska investment to me. And people love just looking at Wikipedia pages and not checking out any of the context.
I mean, you realize he
No, he doesn't. He
No.
doesn't realize.
I-
Doc doesn't
I-
realize. Come on, Doc.
I don't know. I can't argue this anymore.
Aaron says, come on, Josh. Alexi, not Alexis. Alexi is 100% a hippie of the 90s. Big fish, smoking weed, and listening to jam bands.
Yep. I could see some
Yeah,
Dave
Nick got it
Matthews
wrong,
Band,
Aaron.
too.
Blame him. He's a music guy.
Well, some of those looks
And
kind of
this
converge.
is the type of music knowledge that you get on 1019. And they say that station shouldn't be flipped over to sports.
Yeah, that's a bad take by those that say that.
Speaking of which, listen to 1019 The Keg tomorrow between 10 and 3 if you want to hear
Can't
me
wait to hear
do
what
my thing.
facts you get wrong there.
Or
Nick.
just listen between 8:30 and about 11:30 for Creighton basketball.
Nice. And then call the bosses and demand that we move the zone over.
Yep.
Call them.
Yep.
Say, I demand it.
Or else you're
Stop
not
the
gonna.
steal
Or else you're not gonna know what the big
of this
surprise that
great signal.
Gary
Oh,
has
stop.
for us on
Yeah,
Monday.
did you see this? Did you hear about this? There's a
big surprise. Apparently, there's someone new showing up on the morning show.
I will not be hitting my snooze button on Monday morning.
No,
I'll tell
there
you
will
that.
be no snoozing.
No snooze.
Monday morning at 6.
Hmm.
You know, we should welcome in whoever this new person is. We assume it's a person.
Is it Nick?
Is it
I mean,
Scooby-Doo?
Gary said in the promo that it is
What,
something.
Gary?
Well, in fact, you know what? Before we go to break, just play Gary's promo and let's break it down here.
Okay.
Let's just drag that out of the break there, and let's hear. Listen to Gary.
Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Sharp. Have a great weekend. Have a great sports weekend. Make memories. And then join me on Monday morning at 6 for a brand new morning show. That's right. New, fresh, something you've never heard before. Monday at 6 a.m. on 1620 The Zone.
Something you've never heard before.
Scooby-Doo.
I mean, we're assuming that this is another person. Could it be an alien?
It could be, I guess. I didn't think about that.
We don't know what this is. You need to tune in and find out.
Maybe it's a cat.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have a cat cam.
And this is why we should be on 1019 so that
So we can have
everyone
aliens?
will be able to hear Gary's surprise.
By the way, Doc has texted in some more stuff we can get to next.
Oh,
Because he's mad. He said, I love how you guys bash people on air, but yet can't follow up. Doc, I missed your text because I moved on. I didn't realize you were going to follow up. We can call you out more for your bad takes. We'll do that when we return. It's okay.
We have predictions next.
Oh, never mind. All right, real quick. He says, let's talk about sustainability. Where has Matt Rule been successful to program more than 3 to 4 years in a row? Well, Doc, you know the answer to that
because
question.
he hasn't been at one that many.
He's been a climber. If your concern is that he'll make Nebraska good and then bail, well, then at least Nebraska's good again. Also, he mentioned Bo Pelini. Like, I just don't. I'm too tired to argue about Bo anymore. Yes, Nebraska.
Bo is gone. He's retired. He's not even coaching anymore.
Nebraska would love to have that level of success again. They would love to. It's over. Move on. Bo Pelini's been gone for almost a decade. Someone could have been born when Bo got fired, and that kid is 8. Like they're old, like the Bad News Bears. Who cares? Bo doesn't ever think about you, Doc. Stop thinking about him.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, though.
Because predictions is next on 1620 The Zone.
Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Cloudy and chilly overnight. Some fog, possibly a bit of freezing fog. Lows dipping back into the upper 20s to low 30s. Clouds and some fog to start Saturday, then skies turn partly sunny in the afternoon. Highs reaching the low 40s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More Time-Saving Traffic Center, heads up, a stall has the right lane blocked on eastbound I-80 at 72nd. It's causing delays all the way back to at least the L Street exit. A crash on 10th Street between Center and Pacific still causing delays. If you're west on I-80, slow going between Q and Giles. If you're south on 680, delays on L Street for both directions between 25th and 30th, and the usual delays on westbound Dodge between 74th and 90th. I'm Mike Neville. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Burton AC Plumbing, Heating, and More.
Hi, I'm Mark Evans, owner of Burton AC Heating, Plumbing, and More. Join us in supporting Food Bank for the Heartland. Right now, if you donate 5 cans of food, you can get a furnace safety inspection and cleaning for only $55. Request service at justcallburton.com.
Caller 4 right now, 402-951-1620. Qualifies for 1620 The Zone's 4-quarter pick'em. It's your chance to pick 4 football games correctly against the spread to win $1,620. Call 402-951-1620. Call now to qualify with 1620 The Zone.
Email us on the Equitable Bank inbox with whatever is on your mind. Zone Inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. You can get me, Gary, at 1620thezone.com. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone Inbox.
Last year, I enrolled my family for health care coverage through the health insurance marketplace. Do I need to enroll again?
Yes, we have seen the plans available through the marketplace change, and new options may be available. You must re-enroll for 2023 to ensure you or your family are in the right plan for your budget and needs. Charles Drew Health Center in Omaha can help. Just call 402-451-3553 to set up an appointment with a team member.
I don't have health coverage, and I'm worried that if I get sick, I can't afford the medical bills. How do I get started?
Getting started is easy and free. Just call to set up an appointment with a Navigator enrollment specialist. We will explain your coverage options, answer any questions, help you enroll, and see if you qualify for financial assistance. Open enrollment is November 1st through January 15th. Re-enroll in healthcare coverage or enroll for the first time. Call Charles Drew Health Center at 402-451-3553 to set up an appointment.
College basketball season is heating up, and when you need tickets to check out your favorite team, ticketsforless.com is always my go-to spot. Whether it's in Omaha or Lincoln or elsewhere, Creighton, UNO, the Huskers, any other team, ticketsforless.com has the best selection of tickets, and you never pay the outrageous per-ticket fees that you see on other sites. Yeah, that's right. Those outrageous per-ticket fees? Not with ticketsforless.com. Plus, when you use the promo code THEZONE at checkout, you get a special discount just for being a loyal listener. That's promo code THEZONE. So lock in your seats and save with that promo code at ticketsforless.com.
Hey everybody, it's Michael Xavier for Ted and Wally's. One of the things that Ted and Wally's does is go along with the seasons, whether it's the summer or it's the spring or it's the fall. And of course, the winter and holidays and the holiday flavors are amazing. Let me suggest a couple of them for you. Coffee beignet and ooey gooey cake. You are going to love both of them, and so will your family and friends. Swing by the 2 locations, whether it's Benson, next to Taste of New Orleans, or in the Old Market, and get the holiday flavors today. Grab a gift card while you're there as well, and always tell them Severe sent you.
The Zone Hotline is powered by Los Hills Harley-Davidson, your home in the hills. This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
I am very strange.
The 1620 The Zone.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for predictions. Under, bet the under. Vikings and the under, bet the under.
All right, we start a new round. This round takes us through the Super Bowl. By the way, still scoreless. All right, settle down over there. This was your first win in over 2 years.
What did I tell you? I said when football season arrives, this is when it's my time to shine.
Dog butts and sons.
Nick, I was over 500.
It didn't happen last year.
I was taking it easy.
Oh, sure.
Easy like
Nick-
Sunday
on
morning.
Nick.
Yeah.
Taking it easy on me.
Yeah. I wanted
Yeah.
Nick to feel a part of the zone.
The zone.
But now it's time for me to kick Nick's ass again.
I'm going to kick your ass.
Yeah, we'll
I'm
see.
a football boy now.
Yeah, that's shown really well lately.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. We got a huge rivalry tomorrow in the World Cup. England versus France. This goes back centuries.
These countries hate each other.
They don't like each
They
other.
had a whole war for 100 years.
People forget, called the 100-Year War.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fighting.
That's a lot of years.
It's a lot of years. Like people that started in that war and even lived through it, they still died.
It was also more than 100 years.
And how did it last that many years? You had to figure in 100 years, the French probably surrendered, what, 35,
They
40
surrender
times?
in one world war, and it's just stained them for the rest of their lives.
And John will never forget that. France could come save America from something, and he'd be like,
People
See?
forget that France took Canada from England.
people forget, John.
France took Canada, John.
Listen, I expect you to defend the French because, like you, they're fellow smelly boys. Josh, on the other hand, I don't know. England versus France. Who wins? Defending champ, you start.
John Schreiner has been telling Twitter for weeks now that England is going to win the World Cup. I'm going to
Really?
go with, I think he has English ties, though. I'm still going to go with England. John,
Something
I'm with.
tells me that most
one's
Anglos
for
here in this
John.
country probably have at least some English ties.
My family is from Switzerland, I think, and Germany.
I
In
bet-
the 1800s.
I bet there's some English ties in there.
Probably.
We have some English ties.
Probably.
I mean, England's my team.
Are they?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Big fan of England.
Wow.
Bonjour, hon hon baguette. Give me the French.
Of course, you're going to take the smelly.
Sky
boys.
says petition to rename Bo Pelini Discourse the 100-Year War or the 100-Year War 2.0.
Yeah.
I think we should. Hey, what about Bo though?
Not a
I'm
terrible
sorry.
idea.
He had a way better record than every coach lately. Sorry.
Josh picked a random NBA game.
I figured, hey, it's time to throw in random sports.
Yep. Well, this is a very
You know
random
sports.
NBA
We
game
know
because
sports.
the very meh Lakers,
The mid Lakers, as
The
Nick would call them.
They are pretty mid.
4-point underdogs at the 76ers.
Nick,
76ers, USA.
76ers.
Sixers. France.
Sweden, not Switzerland. My dad just facepalmed me. Sweden.
France also helped America win the war, John, against
who-
England, famously.
Wait, what?
France helped America win the war against England in the Revolutionary War. France helped us.
We're talking about the 1700s right now with Nick.
Against England.
You should start a new podcast, Nick, called the
Did
1700s.
they really help us?
Yes, they absolutely did.
They probably surrendered
And then they went
fooled-
into massive
and
debt.
then fooled the English into thinking that we had
Back then, money
surrendered, but
wasn't
it was-
fake.
And
You
then they
couldn't
went
just-
into massive debt helping us, and then that's what kickstarted their revolution.
Nice.
And the guillotines happened.
The Revolution Boys.
Sixers.
Lakers.
Wow.
Go Lake Show.
Homer.
Go Lake Show.
NHL tonight. The Seattle Butt Kraken
Da, 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 da.
at the Washington Capitals.
Hockey?
Yeah, we
Ew.
said this is about the time we start mixing in some of the
This means we're days away from Nick being like, yeah, the engineless sport. Oh,
March. It doesn't start again until March.
thank God. Caps.
Caps.
Release the Kraken.
Wow.
Again, Stink Boy goes with the Butt Kraken. Interesting.
They smell like me, so I'm picking them.
America's game.
Oh, we talking NFL already?
Oh,
The Navy.
have you looked at the uniforms I sent you
Yes,
yet,
I
John?
looked at the videos. They are awesome. I love them. They're great.
Can't wait for you to watch like 5 minutes of this game.
I will have it on. It will be on in the house. I love this game. I tried to watch it on the bus coming home from Sioux Falls last year after Creighton played BYU.
It's so good.
I did. I love
Such
this
a good
game.
Everyone always says that, and then they're like, it's bad football.
It's not bad football.
Yes, it is. It's horrible. These teams suck. It's bad. It's okay to say it's
They
bad.
basically
No,
got
it's
the
not
same record.
bad.
You can say thank you for your service. You're not very good at football.
I think if Navy wins, then Navy and Army will have the same exact record.
5
I'm
and
sorry
7.
they don't
bad.
pass the ball 80 times a
They
game.
don't run the
millennial
ball well
boy.
either, man. They don't do anything well. They're bad.
It's ironic. You'd think they'd be better at a land acquisition sport.
It's a good call, Nick.
Well, that's why I'm taking the Army because it is a land acquisition sport.
Yeah, man. Coach Ken has been on the hot seat. Like it's been kind of weird there.
Yeah.
Munkin, honkin, honk, honk. Give me Army. The wrong team's favored. Army's going to win.
Give me Navy. They got cool NASA uniforms.
Navy. NASA.
What'd they say in The Simpsons when they said join the Navy backwards? I can't do that.
I don't know.
Vikings, despite the fact that they're the number 2 seed currently in NFC, are a 1.5 point dog at the Lions.
Have you seen the stat that this is so this late in the season, a team with an 800 or more winning percentage has been an underdog like 5 or 6 times ever?
Mm-hmm.
All of them are last week of the season when they're resting every player.
Right.
This is not that.
This
It's
is
December
weird.
9th.
But the Lions are playing really well.
Give me Mike Schaefer's Vikings. They win the game outright.
I think this is going to be one of those goofy games. Give me the Lions.
Oh, man, Schaefer will be very mad if you're right.
I'm
Sorry,
taking
Shape.
Minnesota.
Vikings need this game if they're going to have a shot at the 1 seed. They have to win out.
Here's another team with a winning record who's an underdog, but there's no Lamar Jackson. Ravens plus 1.5 at the Steelers. I'm taking Baltimore.
Give me the Steelers.
Baltimore is against the wall. They have to win this game. Everyone's picking against them all week. I'm going to go with the Ravens as well. I think they win the game outright, but I don't feel good about it.
Jets plus 10 at Buffalo.
Huge line.
That is a big line.
This would be the first time that a team has been an 8-point or more dog and won both games in the regular season. I think since the 90s I saw.
Does that mean you're taking the Jets?
No. Give me the Bills.
I want to take the Jets, but I need Bills. Give me the Bills.
I'm going to take the Bills too.
I need the Jets to win, though.
The
Please
Eagles
win.
are a 7-point favorite at the New York Football Giants.
Eagles. Say it.
Oh, the Giants. G-men. They're going to cover. They maybe will win, but they're going to cover. What? They're over 500. They just tied a team.
Joe Burrow has never defeated the Cleveland Browns. He has another
Hilarious.
chance this week. He is a 5.5 point favorite at home against Cleveland.
Is Mr. Problematic back?
Oh, yeah. He played last week. Didn't play well, but he played last
He
week.
played like doo-doo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was very
bad.
rusty.
He was just
Very
throwing the ball on
rusty.
the ground for no reason. Yeah.
Bengals.
I want.
Wow. Is Nick going to be problematic here?
I want this stat to hold just because I don't like Joe Burrow. So give me the Browns.
You don't like Burrow?
I don't like Burrow.
Why?
He's got a vibe. I don't like the vibe.
He's just way too cool for you.
Sure.
He is. Joe Burrow's awesome. Cincy. I think they're going to smoke him. This team is good, man. They're really good.
Tom Brady and the
So
Bucks.
who did you pick?
I picked Cincinnati.
All right.
Bucks are a 3.5 point favorite or 3.5 point underdog at Frisco. It's Tom Brady versus Brock Purdy.
This is a game. I heard all these stats from our dear friend Todd Furman. You know, the biggest difference in like age of starting quarterbacks ever, the biggest difference between wins as starting quarterbacks ever, like every stat basically, because Brady is the best and this guy has never started a game before. San Fran wins by 7.
Wow, you're actually taking Frisco.
Give me the Purdy boy.
I think San Fran has more to offer than the Bucks have.
Okay. Was that a pun?
No,
Okay.
it was.
I couldn't tell if he was about to give us a punch.
I think
John.
there's enough depth and people and range in San Francisco to make up for whatever Purdy's lacking.
You're not wrong. Their roster, way better roster than Tampa's.
I will let you guess who came up with this prop bet. Brock Purdy interceptions over or under 1.5.
Is that too high of a number? Should we set it at half? Should we set it at a half INT?
You put it at 1.5.
Under. Brock, deliver for me, baby. I talked trash on you all week, but you're going to play not terrible.
I will take the over.
Nice. That'd be so funny.
Under. He has to throw more than 2 passes.
Good call. Good call, John.
I wonder who put this prop bet in.
I was just scrolling on FanDuel looking for prop bets.
Promo code
Sure you
1620.
will.
Promo code 6020.
As his Cowboys play an FCS school.
They do. People forget.
Which NFL team scores the most points on Sunday? Go ahead, say it. You know, this is why you put
say it,
this
Josh.
in.
Say it.
Oh, I'm not picking Dallas.
Oh, you're not, even though they're
No.
playing an FCS team.
Give me Knicks Miami Dolphins against the Chargers. No, I think Dallas is going to come out on Sunday and play with their food a little bit.
Play with their food.
Like it's going to be a closer
because
game
they're kind
than it should
of dumb kids.
No, because
they're just like
they're looking ahead to Christmas Eve. They know that the game that matters is in Christmas Eve.
Well, you realize that game ain't going to mean squadoosh if they roll
win.
over
I
and
don't think they
die
cover,
for an
though.
FCS.
I don't think they
school.
cover. They're going to win. They won't cover.
Give me the Buffalo overrated. I'm bringing it back because John is
Oh,
leaving it behind.
wow. What did you call the Raiders?
The Overrators?
The Overrators. Nice.
I'll take Dallas.
I'm happy that they had the best odds on FanDuel. Promo code 1620.
There you go.
I think it was like plus
And
550.
this match right now, with 18 minutes to go in the first half, is still scoreless.
Oh,
So
hey, look, they're counting down.
Yes,
They do count down in college soccer.
Soccer's smart that way. Who wins this match? The Blue Jays play for a national championship on Monday.
Go Creighton.
Yeah, they've been on such a heater. I'm not going to pick against them. Give me the Jays.
Wow, we're all taking the Jays.
All right, congrats to Syracuse.
Sadly, you might be right.
Right?
Yeah, 18 minutes to go, no score. Creighton's had more shots on goal so far than the Orange. It's been hard to tell if they've been in the 3-3-5 or not.
Looks like it. There's 3 guys. There's 4 guys. Oh, and 5 if you got the goalie.
There's just a lot of guys scattered
There
all
you
over
go.
the field.
The
It's hard to count.
This one's for Tony.
The Tiger?
We've got some content coming up and bet of the day on 1620 The Zone.
It's an NFL doubleheader on Sports USA. And first, we're in the Empire State as Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills host Garrett Wilson and the high-flying New York Jets. Then we head to the Rockies as Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs try to wrangle the Denver Broncos with Russell Wilson and Jared Judy.
Steps around one defender and goes into the end zone. Touchdown, Denver.
It's the Jets at the Bills, then the Chiefs at the Broncos. This Sunday on Sports USA.
If it's the NFL, it's on 1620 The Zone.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
From basketball to volleyball, baseball to softball, soccer, tennis, and so much more, the Creighton sports season is packed with action. The 1620 The Jays podcast, presented by Barry Law, covers it all. Each week, we visit with Blue Jay athletes and coaches to hear their stories and document their climb through the Big East Conference. The 1620 The Jays podcast drops each Friday morning and is found at 1620thezone.com and all major podcast platforms. Just search 1620 The Jays. Covering all things Creighton Blue Jays, it's the 1620 The Jays podcast, presented by Barry Law from 1620 The Zone.
The brand new Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair is now hiring. Starting wages up to $20.10 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply at the Holiday Inn Blair Monday through Wednesday, 9:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and the Florence City Hall Thursday and Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. for on-the-spot interviews. Unable to attend? Apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
It's beginning to feel like winter, and 42 Degrees has taken the chill off with deals like this. Let's start with our premium kratom starting at $11.99. CBD starting at $9.99. Looking to try out our Delta products? We have them starting at $7.99. With the largest selection of pipes, vaporizers, candles, incense, a knowledgeable, professional, and friendly staff. Why shop anywhere else? 42 Degrees. Buy your mom's house.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREON info.com.
Suicide can be prevented by knowing the warning signs. And most importantly, knowing what to do if you recognize those signs in yourself, a loved one, or even a stranger. There are simple ways you can be there for someone, so they can be here for more tomorrows. Visit moretomorrowsany.org to learn the signs, how to approach the conversation, and where to get help. Or call 988 for help now. That's moretomorrowsany.org.
Car repair is car repair. Most places you go can change your oil or fix your brakes. The difference is the experience you'll get at Omaha Car Care. We're part of the community. We were born here, and we believe that our relationship with you should be built to last. We're going to consult you, not sell you. We're going to give you a free loaner car. We're going to treat you like a valued friend that we want to continue to see in the years to come. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
Pizza from Frank's Pizzeria goes with everything for the holidays. Baking Christmas cookies this weekend? Order a pizza from Frank's Pizzeria. Wrapping Christmas presents? Order a pizza from Frank's Pizzeria. Burying yourself under a blanket and streaming rom-com Christmas movies? Order a pizza from Frank's Pizzeria. Click frankspizzeria.omaha.com. Pick it up at 132nd and Dodge or 72nd and Q, or have it delivered. Snag some gift cards for stocking stuffers too. Merry Christmas and happy holidays from everyone at Frank's Pizzeria.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
Look, I made you some
Unsportsmanlike
content.
Unsportsmanlike content.
Unsportsmanlike content. Content that's unsportsmanlike. How about this?
How about this?
Todd tweeted
How
that
about?
he is enjoying a little full lot of sap right now at Cross Train downtown, which we have some of that in our fridge. It's very delicious. Travis responded a minute later, LMAO, I am here now. And he just tweeted at us again, we're friends now. Thanks, USC 1620.
We did it.
The Grum, bringing folks together.
You did it! And we'll all bring more folks together next week at the La Vista location of Cross Train.
Yeah!
They got new beers.
A Wednesday One Beer Friday next week. We'll be
Can't
live from Cross Train in La Vista.
Guys.
Yep.
An entire show came and went yesterday with nary a mention of Jacques Yan entering the transfer portal. Well, John, you want to take one more shot at the poster?
Again, I remind you, friends, that Jacques Yan made the offensive poster.
Yep. Right there.
Casey
Right there.
Thompson did not.
Any quarterback.
I still don't understand. And some people try to, well, maybe Casey's not going to start, which was ridiculous when you consider in hindsight how everything played out. How the quarterback.
Chubba was so good. What if he would have won the battle?
Quarterback didn't make the offensive poster.
Chubba.
Yeah,
I'm gonna miss that
four
drop.
running backs, none of whom really had a decent year.
Are you going to take that poster home, by the way? We don't really need it
Yeah,
anymore.
we should get rid of these posters. Bad football team, bad season.
Take that one
Is
home.
that
though.
what the new exciting show is going to be on Monday morning? They're just tearing posters
Tearing
down.
posters down. Go ahead. Tear that
We're
thing
the
down.
tearing poster show.
According to Pete Thamel, remaining football members of the Atlantic Sun and WAC have agreed to align to form the foundation of a 10-member football-only conference with the intention of becoming the 11th FBS conference. You like this idea?
I don't hate this idea. I don't know how much success they're going to have when they get up to the next level, but they're obviously going to hope for more money. I mean, we've seen a lot of schools jump up from the FCS to the FBS lately and have success and win games. You know, Old Dominion was the latest to do so. They were a good team this year. I don't hate it, but also it has nothing to do with me ultimately. And
By the way, the
involved.
schools involved are Stone Cold Stephen F. Austin,
Oh, hell
Abilene
yeah.
Christian, Utah Tech,
Abilene.
Southern Utah, Tarleton State, Austin
Tarleton.
P, Eastern Kentucky, Central Arkansas, North Alabama, and UT Rio Grande Valley.
Is Austin B a college or is it just like a dude?
There's a lot of direction in this conference. They should
Dude.
call this the directional conference.
The directional conference.
They should.
Because there's a lot of directions in here.
All right.
The Cardinal Conference.
Either that or call it the bottom line conference because Stone Cold Stephen F. Austin said so.
Will we know any more assistant coaching news by the time we roll into the office on Monday?
Well,
yes. We're going to know someone that we're going to have to erase a name on the board. We're going to know that by Monday.
yeah, it's not looking good for Jake Peets, it sounds like.
I wouldn't be surprised if we learned the wide receiver coach too.
Yeah, I think you might be right on that. I think we are going to hear something.
Yeah.
Between now and Monday. Maybe it's not an official, but it'll be an unofficial report and it'll become assumed knowledge.
Yep. Something we weirdly haven't talked about today, like at all. Baker Mayfield and the Rams went 98 yards last night to win the football game versus the Over Raiders.
People forget that.
John,
Yep.
You're a big Baker guy.
Oh, I was thrilled for Baker, and Syracuse just scored.
Oh, no.
8:54 to go in the first half. Syracuse is taking a 1-0 lead on Creighton. Of course I'm a Baker guy now.
Not a candlestick maker or a butcher?
I'm not neither one of those
I love
things.
meat.
Meat's good.
My take.
I do agree, though. I think last night, little playground football, but once there's a little bit of structure, it could be a little more complicated for Baker. Though, let's face it, got better quarterback coaching than he's ever had before. That's for damn sure. Rams can't do any worse than they were doing the previous 6 games. I'll just put it that way.
Hard to argue.
Fair. Remember when Scofro would tell anyone who would listen that Nebraska never lifted weights under Mike Riley? Well, we learned today through Husker Online that Ross strength coach Zach Duval never asked his players to stretch before lifting. Is stretching the key to success?
So when I tweeted about this earlier, I caught some flack from people saying, with like
Flacco
tweets and links and screenshots, that sometimes before weights people don't stretch. Seems a little dangerous. I stretch before I run.
You know what we have found? We have found that there are many different philosophies when it comes to strength and conditioning. And when things don't go well, whatever the philosophies were of the previous strength coach is generally blamed. Similar to what happened, they don't do squats. That was the big argument for Riley's staff. They didn't do squats. But, I mean, is Zach Duval completely devoid of having any knowledge of strength and conditioning? No. Now, did the team actually get better physically? You can make
I'd say also no.
You can make arguments to say no.
They were pretty bad, John.
Also, what's the harm in just stretching before? It doesn't hurt anything.
Well, some people believe it does hurt, Nick.
Maybe they're stretching the wrong way.
Maybe they're stretching the wrong way. You got to go counterclockwise instead of clockwise.
Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormack said yesterday, I was put off candidly by the Rose Bowl. I don't believe in anyone putting themselves ahead of the sport. Wow, that's refreshing.
Yeah, it is. Now, of course, Yormark has the ability to do that because his conference has never been linked with the Rose Bowl anyway, so it's easy to hit from the outside. This would really be powerful if this were the Big 10 commissioner, the Pac-12 commissioner sounding off on the Rose Bowl. But yes, the Rose Bowl has put itself ahead of the sport all the time since the Rose Bowl began. It's just that football has allowed itself to be put in front of it by the Rose Bowl for decades. Maybe finally the college football has gotten smart and realized, you know what? We don't need you, Rose Bowl. You need us.
Yeah, I am. My heart is getting 3 sizes bigger.
Oh, like the Grinch.
Every time someone in college football.
Got him.
Damn. Every time someone in college football rips on the Rose Bowl, I love to see it. More ripping on the Rose Bowl. More of it, please.
You know what they need
please,
to do?
Sir, may I have another?
You know, about the only thing left now is just to put up a giant electronic billboard on the San Gabriel Mountains.
Oh, so then the sun can't set?
Yep. Well, the sun will set, but it just won't. Yeah.
Let's just shoot the sun.
Just fill those mountains with advertising.
That'd be hilarious.
Grinnell College in Iowa set an NCAA record by attempting 111 shots from the 3 last night in their 124-67 win over Emmaus Bible College. All 111 shots attempted were threes. Thoughts?
So wait, every shot they attempted was from
Yes,
three?
they did not attempt a two-point shot the entire game.
Wow, they made 40 of them.
They went 40 for
Wow.
111.
That's that's more modern than I guess I ever expected the modern game to be. That's
Well,
crazy.
This school has had a tendency to do this. I mean, they do like to shoot them some three. So this isn't the first time for Old Grinnell College, but man, to not even once. It's almost like you wonder if they said, nope, we're not doing this at all.
Right? Like, hey, let's see if we can win without shooting a 2.
And they did.
And they did.
It's no way to treat a Bible college, though.
Food TV personality Alton Brown posted a video last night from Lincoln about chili and cinnamon rolls, but wait.
Okay, so here in Lincoln, Nebraska, you're supposed to pour chili onto cinnamon rolls.
This is from Runza.
From Runza, which is like supposed to be the jam. So, all right, here I go. I'm putting my chili, which has got beans in it, on a cinnamon roll. This is not something I've ever seen before.
For the love of God, why?
I don't know why you would do this. Thank God it's not Skyline chili.
He was rightfully roasted on Twitter because what the hell?
Well, did you see he followed up today and he said, "Dear Nebraska, you might have mentioned the part about eating the chili and cinnamon rolls separately."
We've never said it was meant to be together.
Who told you to pour it on?
I mean, when I hear
This
so
was
when I
somebody
first
who
learned-
obviously heard from the wrong person.
My guess is because when I hear chili and cinnamon rolls, I always thought at first that it was like you were supposed to eat them literally together.
No, it's just a pairing.
Because some people dip it, don't they?
Yeah, that's what we did in Iowa.
Yeah.
We dipped it.
I mean, you can, but no, it was always
It's a good
pairing.
contrast, but it's a dip. It's not like a scoop. You just dip it in. It's like a
that-
savory, sweet
That's also
contrast.
stupid.
Yeah, it's a pairing. It's not peanut
This is
butter
our
and jelly.
dumbest thing. This is the dumbest export that we have. Scott Frost and this.
No, it's not. This is perfectly
It's
fine.
so stupid.
No, it's
Cinnamon
not.
rolls and
How
chili
is
is
it
good,
stupid?
Josh.
Because it's stupid.
It's a Midwest staple.
That doesn't
It's
mean
not
it needs to be
stupid.
good.
Why do you dislike it so much?
Because it's you know me, I don't want my sweet and my savory.
The sweet and savory are good pairings.
I don't like sweet and savory, Nick.
So you don't like ice cream with some chocolate covered potato chips in there?
No, what?
Ah.
Absolutely not. You psycho.
You're denying yourself.
No, I'm not, Nick.
You are.
The bet of the day is next on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
The holiday season arrives, and that means that you have parties to go to, gatherings to go to, and it might be time for you to upgrade your winter wardrobe. Head to Rockbrook Village and Rossi Clothiers to do so. Celebrating over 30 years, whether it's a brand new tie, a great new shirt, a sports coat, or the full-on suit, they will be able to help you out there and make sure that you are looking good this year for the holiday season. Celebrating over 30 years, Rossi Clothiers, Rockbrook Village.
Hi, everybody. Gary Sharp, voice of Omaha men's basketball. The road trip continues. It's the final of 7 on the road at Montana State. Join me for all the play-by-play action coming up on Saturday at 4:30 with the pregame show, 5 o'clock tip-off, right on 1180 The Zone.
Here's this week's Maverick Minute. Omaha Hockey completed a weekend sweep over number 14 Western Michigan with a 3-1 win last Saturday. The Mavs head back to the road this weekend to take on the Colorado College Tigers. The Maverick men's basketball team fell on the road to Mean Green Saturday. North Texas hit 9 threes in the second half, powering to a 75-45 win. And that's your Maverick Minute on News Talk 1290, 1180 The Zone, and 1620 The Zone.
Welcome to OmahaWeekendDeals.com, where we bring you deals to some of your favorite restaurants and events every weekend. This weekend's deal is to Control Coffee and Cereal Bar. Control is a casual place to explore new tastes, meet friends, and have business chats while enjoying your favorite brew, drinks, and of course, cereal. Control has over 30 cereals to choose from, and Control even provides the fun with retro games. Stop by today at 1016 South 10th Street in Omaha. Head to OmahaWeekendDeals.com now to get yours.
Dell Technologies' Days of Deals for Business start now. with fresh, limited quantity deals on tech to drive productivity. Save on select performance laptops and desktops powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Don't forget special pricing on the latest monitors, docks, and accessories, plus free shipping on everything, and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Mike Chappell here, serial entrepreneur. I started my first business in a dingy basement of a factory in 1986. Instead of customers, my visitors were rats, birds, flies, and snakes. To psych myself up that I was going to succeed, I wore formal business attire and a tie to that lonely factory basement every day. I was a total type A business geek, crunching spreadsheets for my accounting. Today, my fifth successful business, Patriot Software, makes accounting simple for accountants and non-accountants alike, eliminating the need for many of us business geeks to crunch spreadsheets or wear formal business attire ever again. Go to PatriotSoftware.com. Use promo code RADIO and get 2 months of accounting software free. That's PatriotSoftware.com.
Accounting and payroll, keep your time and money.
Hey, everybody, it's Gary Sharp. Join me for We Got a Podcast, driven by Woodhouse Auto Family. We get more in depth, have a guest or two, and drop nuggets of info you haven't heard anywhere else. Join us for We Got a Podcast, driven by Woodhouse Auto Family, every Friday in the show page on 1620thezone.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
The holidays are here. This holiday season, we encourage you to come support our local stores in Omaha. And Westwood Plaza has everything you need to find that perfect gift. Krypton Comics is a privately owned comic and hobby store. Located in Omaha for the past 30 years, Krypton has become the largest comic book store in the area. They offer a giant selection of collectibles like new comics, clothing, vintage toys, and more. If you can't find what you're looking for in the store, they'll do their best to track it down. Come in and see them on 125th and Center inside Westwood Plaza. Mind Meld Escape Room in Omaha has been locally owned and operated since it opened in 2019. Mind Meld Escape Rooms cater to everyone's preference, from alien enthusiasts, part-time paleontologists, grammar police, to amateur surgeons. They know everyone likes to have a good time once in a while, so why not let them help? Visit Mind Meld Escape Room on 125th and Center inside Westwood Plaza and explore this fun-filled venue today. Everything you need to shop locally for the holidays is at Westwood Plaza in Omaha.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson.
I'm a fan of Coug fans. John Bishop here for Coug fans.
Who doesn't like Coug? On 1620 The Zone.
And you know why I'm laughing, don't you? Now, it's time for the Unsportsmanlike Conduct Bet of the Day.
Just a little bit under where some folks would like to see this one wind up.
Brought to you by nobody.
You gotta be kidding.
Really, we don't have a sponsor. Sorry.
Sean lost, I lost. Nick won because he had the Rams on the money line. Give me the Bengals -5.5 versus the Browns.
I'm going to take the Vikings and the Ravens this weekend, both at +1.5. That's +277.
Chiefs, Dolphins, Patriots, +241.
And that's the bet of the day.
Iowa.
Chiefs, Dolphins, Patriots?
Yep.
Busy sports weekend. We've got Creighton basketball tomorrow night. They have just gone to halftime. Syracuse up 1-0 on Creighton.